Hello and welcome to the second ever FPL Tom deadline stream here for Game Week 2. Again, we are doing a dual stream. We have YouTube on this camera, TikTok up here. If you do have any questions throughout the stream, do get them in the comment section as we will be trying to answer every single question that does come through the door. We will try and get every single one, as I know this week there is a lot of topics that people are calling out. There are a hell of a lot of topics, to be honest, that a lot of people are calling out. Obviously, the Estupinian news, the Stones, the Diaz, the Ben Chilwell. We're going to be going through every single kind of player that you potentially could replace, trying to answer as many questions, and of course, revealing my team. Quack, quack, rubber ducky, FPL. Yep, it's good to be back, isn't it indeed? Ladies and gentlemen, on the TikTok chat, if you have any questions, do answer them in there. But the best place to come over is to my YouTube channel, because you'll be able to see all the cool graphics, all the stuff, and the chat is right in front of me. So it's a little bit easier for me to kind of answer and see all of your questions as well, if you do have any questions about your team. But yeah, it's good to be back, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Game week 1, it was interesting. It was interesting to say the least. I had a very good game week. Scored 82 points. I think we're around 400,000 rank, which is pretty decent, to be honest. So very happy with that. Good start to game week 1, which is always what you like to see. Hopefully we can continue that into game week 2. I think our team is looking rather strong. I think it's looking pretty decent, not going to lie, for game week 2. There are a few issues that might arise, but you know, we'll kind of come to them if any kind of early team news or any kind of breaking news does arrive. But I'm feeling in a good place. I hope you are as well. Like I said, if you do have any questions, TikTok, YouTube, do get them in, and we will try and work through them and answer, as there are so many. Decline that, as there are so many questions that you could be answering about your team, to be honest. But yeah, I think that's enough foreplay. Let's go straight in to my team reveal. If you are on TikTok, the best thing you can do is come over to the YouTube channel. You'll get to see all my team. You get to see my beautiful face in a little box as well. It's just a little bit easier. I can read the chat so much easier as well. So if you do have any questions about your team, this is the place to come do it. So if you're on YouTube, you can see my team, but I will read it out for those on TikTok as well. Starting off in goal, I have gone for Turner. I do have both Johnson and Turner, but that Sheffield United at home fixture tonight, it just looks a little bit too saucy, to be honest. It's just a bit too delicious, to be honest. We currently have a back four: Estupinian, Gabriel, Chilwell, and Rico Henry. Estupinian, it was confirmed today. Obviously, there was the kind of rumours circulating around that he potentially might be injured. That has been completely squashed by De Zerbi. He is fully fit. There are no injury concerns. So I think, you know, Estupinian, if you've got him, you don't have to worry about him, unless we kind of get any more contradicting information. But from the pressers, it's looking pretty good that he is fit and ready to go for game week 2. Gabriel, again, this one could be like an absolute downfall keeping him this week, but I'm going to keep him, to be honest. I am rolling my transfer. We're keeping Gabriel for one more week. I do have a plan to potentially downgrade him to a 4.5 million defender, but we're going to have to kind of see and wait, kind of plan out how this game week goes with that plan. We're going to keep Gabriel for this week. Hope that he does play. Hope that Timber injury potentially means that he's going to start this week. That would be, you know, a little bit handy, to be honest, because we're a little bit light of players. We do have Kabore, who doesn't have a game on the bench, as you can see. Eze has Arsenal, and Mbuema from West Ham, he's not going to get any game time. So, yeah. Little bit stuck, to be honest. A little bit stuck there. Then we have Ben Chilwell, an absolute must for this game week. West Ham, and then the fixtures after that are absolutely brilliant as well, to be honest. And then Rico Henry, arguably one of my favourite 4.5 million defenders this week. If you are struggling for like Reece James replacements, I'd probably say he's absolutely up there, to be honest. In the midfield, we've got Bruno Fernandes and Mbuemo, Salah captain, and Saka as well. I think that's a very strong midfield. Obviously, Manchester United weren't overly impressive on Monday night, but I'm feeling, you know, it's too early to kind of judge after one game week, so I'm happy to have Bruno Fernandes. And Mbuemo, penalty-taking king. Fulham absolutely leaked chances against Everton as well, so I expect them to have a very good performance. Salah captain, we're all for it. We're all here. Like I said, you've got to be part of this exclusive club. If you've got Salah, you've got to be going for him captain this week, to be honest. I think that's like just a given, to be honest. If you're spending 12.5 million on a player, you have to be captain him. Why else would you do it? City as well had the Super Cup in midweek. Pep's been whinging about kind of the minutes and the kind of rotation and all that stuff. So I just feel like he's going to have something up his bold sleeve, to be honest. So we're going Salah captain. Obviously, last time Bournemouth travelled to Anfield, they did lose 9-0 as well. So thoughts on captaining Saka? It's not the worst shout in the world. Crystal Palace away is a little bit difficult. They do have the best XG conceded since game week 29. So since Roy Hodgson's appointment. So I think it's definitely an option, but they didn't look like fluid against Arsenal, to be honest. I think there are better captaincy options out there, but it's not a bad one. But I think there's definitely better options. I think you're probably better just sticking with Haaland over going for Saka, to be honest, for this game week. My two forwards that I have in my side are João Pedro and Haaland. It looks like João Pedro is potentially going to get a price rise tonight. That is nice because that helps out with future plans as well. Haaland as well, I think he's going to start the game, but I think he might get subbed off early, especially with how Pep's been whinging. And then, like I said, the bench is pretty poor for this game week, not going to lie. Johnson, Eze and Mbeumo, pretty light on the back. It's a lovely shirt, isn't it? This one back here, Mansfield Town. I do have the new one, but I haven't been able to get it yet because I had to return it because the name set I got in the back was already starting to peel. It was like, yeah, I don't know if you've had any problems with that MTFZ zone. Like, yeah, the kit manufacturer this year, poor, very poor indeed. We've got some questions coming in on the YouTube chat as well. Who should I put in for Lisandro Martinez if I only have 4.5 million? We're going to come to that. I've got a whole slide dedicated to defenders, so we will come to that. Have any big injury news or early team news come out? The kind of early injury news that we have had is Estepinian is fit. Stones and Diaz are going to miss this game week. And I think that's it. And then obviously the Reece James injury, but I feel that one is, pretty common knowledge. Who did I get on the back of my Stag shirt? Of course I went Akins. Is Turner to start? Probably, yeah. I don't think Forest have another goalkeeper is probably Premier League standard, so I can't see any reason why he would be dropped, to be honest, Archie. Why am I not starting Eze? To be honest, I don't know who I'd swap him for, to be honest. Maybe Gabriel, but that's about it, to be honest. I think he's a good player, but I think he's bench-worthy this week. He does look good, though. He does look very good, and that could come back to bite me in the arse, to be honest. Yeah, I'm playing Gabriel Mans, to be honest. This is his last chance, to be honest. If he lets me down this week, he's gone. He is absolutely gone. Will Reece James drop in price tonight? I don't know. Shall I have a check? Yeah, I'm going to have a check if Reece James is going to drop in price tonight. He's already dropped, hasn't he? It's just whether or not a question of if he drops again, to be honest. Price change predictor. I'm using Fantasy Football Scout. I'm not sponsored by them in any way. If you want to go check out their stuff, they've got like price predictor. Like there's an app that you can get for your phone as well, absolutely free. Then they do have kind of stuff behind paywalls. I pay for it, but you know the stuff I need is for content creating. So it's all good in that regard. Right, what were we looking at? We were looking at Reece James as a potential price decrease. Was that? Yeah, he's going to decrease tonight according to this website. So he's going to go down from 5.5. So yeah, if you do have him, probably look to take him out of your team. When did the stream start? Probably about 10 minutes ago. 10 minutes ago. We started at 4 o'clock. Deadline this week is a little bit earlier at 6:15, 6:15 this week. Just down to that kickoff being a little bit early, all because of the cricket. Yeah, there it is. We've got some more questions. Yeah, I'm playing Gabriel. Start Henry or Gabriel? Probably Henry. I thought he looked really good. Fulham didn't look great either, to be honest. Start Henry or Gabriel? Henry. Henry or Shaw this week? Ooh, I'd probably go Henry. I'd definitely probably go Henry. I looked at Luke Shaw's data earlier for a slide, and he had 0 XG and 0 XA as well. So I'd definitely be starting Henry over Shaw this week. Gusto to keep money for Jackson next week or Chilwell. Will kind of talk me to free transfer plans, to be honest. And then I can answer it a little bit better. Should I transfer Eze for Mbeumo? I think Mbeumo will rise in price. Let's have a check if Mbeumo is going to rise in price. I think he is. Yeah, and Mbeumo's rising in price tonight, but I don't think Eze is a definite sell. He looked very good, to be honest. Dan Burn or Robertson? Probably Robertson, especially with them getting Hall from Chelsea. I think that's going to limit Dan Burn's minutes. So I'd go Robertson. What do you think about Pedporo? Didn't play the first game. Gonna decrease in price tonight as well. So I'd probably say an avoid. Obviously with Emerson Royale scoring a goal as well, putting in quite an impressive performance in kind of the inverted kind of wing back role. I think, I think, to be honest, that's the way to go for it. Do I work in CEX? No. I actually smell quite nice. I have like deodorant on and aftershave on. Don't have any nose piercings or sell Xboxes. Like, I know I'm not the most good looking lad, but I definitely do not work at CEX. I don't have the kind of BO qualities for that. Yeah. So here is my team for Game Week 2. It is looking quite strong, to be honest. That question's absolutely thrown me. Yeah. Right, let's move on to my predictions. I did this a little bit later in last week's stream, and it kind of just went a little bit tits up because people just kept coming in, asking me questions, to be honest. And then I kind of was just a little bit distracted. And yeah, it just didn't go well. So we're going to get the predictions out the way nice and early, to be honest, ladies and gentlemen. But do keep your questions coming in. What's my transfer plan for next week? I think it's going to be downgrade Gabriel to a 4 or a 4.5. Obviously, that is dependent on certain people's minutes this week. And then take Pedro out for Jackson, as he has back-to-back home games of Luton and Nottingham Forest. I want to transfer out Reece James. I'm thinking of bringing in Gusto as cheap or just Chilwell safe. I'd say if you've got the money, go Chilwell. If you haven't, then probably go Gusto. Right, my predictions for this game week. It's quite an interesting week. There's some definitely tasty games in there, and there's definitely some absolute stinker 3 o'clock games, to be honest. Thank you for the rose. I appreciate that. Nottingham Forest, Sheffield United is the first game. That is tonight. I've gone for a 2-0 win for Nottingham Forest. I just think Sheffield United looked absolutely dismal against Crystal Palace, to be honest. So yeah, I'm predicting a 2-0 win for Nottingham Forest. I think Morgan Gibbs-White is going to be involved. If you are on a free hit, he's definitely a player I will be looking at getting. Not a long-term pick, but if you're on a free hit, he's definitely worth maybe having a little gander at. Luton Burnley postponed. Obviously, Luton's pitch and ground improvements aren't finished yet. Fulham Brentford, I've gone 3-1 Brentford. Liverpool Bournemouth, I've gone 4-1. I just feel like that Liverpool defence is definitely going to concede a goal at some point. Probably the best 3 o'clock fixture we're going to get tomorrow. Definitely one I'll be watching. Wolves Brighton, I've gone 2-1 Brighton. Obviously, both teams kind of accumulated quite high XG over the weekend. They were both very interesting indeed. I want to see Wolves against a little bit lesser of opponent. Obviously, they're putting quite a good performance against Manchester United. So I just want to see how they get on against a little bit of a lesser opponent, to be honest. United Spurs, I've gone 2-2. I think that's going to be a goal fest. Both teams kind of leaked XG and big chances in their opening 2 games, to be honest. And then Manchester City versus Newcastle, I've gone 1-1. I think that'll be quite a tight game, to be honest. And then Aston Villa versus Everton, I've gone 2-0 Villa. I don't think Everton away from home last year were 20th for XG conceded. So I definitely think if you've got Ollie Watkins, he might be a rogue shout for the captaincy armband this week, to be honest. Might even be a rogue shout to maybe bring him in this week as well if you are looking for a striker replacement. Definitely one to be considering, to be honest. Who else have we got in here? We've got West Ham Chelsea. I've gone 2-0 Chelsea. Can't see West Ham pulling a result off there. And then the Monday night game, I've gone for a squeaky 2-1 win for Crystal Palace. I could easily see that potentially being a 1-0 Palace win. I've got just a feeling they're going to just be a little bit rogue. They're going to be on a little bit of a high after that Michael Elise news. I've just got a feeling that they might just sneak something. Let me know what your score predictions are for Game Week 2. Any kind of interesting games that you're potentially looking to target as well. And I can identify some good players for you to go for from your Game Week 2 team as well. So yeah, if you do have any questions, let me know in the comment section, as we will try and get through as many as we possibly can. And this week, I need to take little breaks as well for like drinking, because I completely lost my voice after last week's stream. So we're going to take a drink break. Just stop talking for like 2 minutes as well. But do keep the questions coming in. Any questions about your team or potential injuries, do get them in. We will have a kind of scout through Twitter in a little bit as well. We're going to take a look at some potential injury issues. Hopefully we can try and get some early team news. Definitely know if Turner's playing for Game Week 1. That would be nice. Or if you do have any kind of other Forest assets, it would be really good to know as well. Is Reece James out? Yeah, Reece James is out for a couple game weeks. So if you do need any replacements, Callum, let me know, because that is what we are going to go through next. There's the right slide. We're going to go through this next, put this together today. Here are 5 players I think you potentially could replace Reece James or John Stones with, to be honest. Obviously, if you watch my first video of this week, we kind of looked at defensive replacements for Gabriel. It's quite similar, the options that I've got, because I don't think too much has changed in terms of data. But yeah, in terms of replacements, we're going to go through them both. You've got John Stones and Reece James. That's heavy. That is heavy, that, Callum, to be honest. That's heavy. Next, you're going to be telling me you've got like Tyrone Mings as well. But the players that I've identified: Emerson Royal from Spurs, Gusto from Chelsea, Rico Henry from Brentford, Luke Shaw from Manchester United, and Ben Chilwell. If you are on the YouTube stream, all the data sets that you can see in front of you are from Fantasy Football Fix. And these are all the stats from Game Week 1, their ownership, their price as well. Been planning to swap Maddison for Odegaard, but that leaves me with 1.5 mil and 1 transfer. That's fine. That's fine. Having money in the bank isn't an issue. Thinking of Chilwell to Shaw. Chilwell to Shaw? You mean Reece James to Shaw? I'm guessing that's what you mean. Definitely wouldn't be taking Ben Chilwell out. But the players, like I said, these are 5 players I think are arguably some of the best replacements for Reece James if you are struggling this game week. We have Emerson Royal, obviously scored off 0.03 XG, which is not great to see, 0 XA. But with Spurs having good fixtures after Game Week 2, I think they have kind of like a 4 game week run where the fixtures are absolutely amazing. So I definitely think they are a team to be targeting. Obviously, a lot of people have Udogie, is it? Udogie, the left back as well. Another good option. But I went with Emerson Royal. I wanted to kind of see what data sets that he had, to be honest. Putting Chilwell in and Shaw. Yeah, I can get behind that. Is Maddison going up in price? Let's have a check. Let's have a check, shall we? I think he is. Yeah, apparently he's going up tonight. Apparently he is going up tonight. So James Maddison is going up tonight. Apparently. But yeah, Emerson Royal as a potential little differential that you might want to go for as a Reece James replacement or John Stones replacement. 0.03 XG isn't great. XA absolutely abysmal. But with the good fixtures coming up, maybe is a little bit of an option. Gusto at 4 million, very popular pick. It does seem like he is going to potentially slot into that right back slot where Reece James was. Played there quite a few times in pre-season as well. So you would imagine that he is potentially going to be just slotting in there and taking that spot. Again, 1.7 owned, huge differential, only 4 million as well. So would free up a hell of a lot of money in the bank as well, to be honest. If you look at his kind of stats from last season, 0 goals, 1 assist, 0.4 XG and 3.1 XA. So very unfortunate not to come away with more than 1 assist last season. So I definitely think he's an option. But with Chelsea having a lot of defensive kind of cover, there are question marks about whether or not he's worth that risk and whether or not he's going to play every single game. But I think Poch likes him. I don't think he would have played him in pre-season if he didn't like him, to be honest. The next defender that I potentially think you could replace Reece James or John Stones with is Rico Henry. Really good pick, to be honest. I've got him in my team. Looks super impressive against Tottenham. Could have easily had 2 assists in that game if Mbeumo knew how to finish his chances. But yeah, I definitely think he's a potential option. 3.8% owned as well would be a huge differential. I can see quite a few comments coming in on the TikTok chat. If you want to head over to my YouTube, FPL Tom, I can see it a little bit better there as they're all on screen, and we're kind of looking at the screen as well, so I can just pick them off and go through them a little bit easier, to be honest. Luke Shaw, again, a player a lot of people recommending. Roberto Shaw, as a lot of people referred to him last year, is he was just picking up bonus points for absolute fun, to be honest. So I definitely think he is an option at 5.5 million. Didn't have the greatest game against Wolves. 0 XG and 0 XA as well, so a little bit concerning, to be honest. Not creating too many chances, especially when you're paying that premium price. Not the greatest long-term fixtures either, quite hit and miss. But United, pretty solid defence. Not in game week 1, but over last season. So you do imagine they will keep quite a few clean sheets. And then my personal favourite, Reece James or John Stones replacement, if you have the money, is going for Ben Chilwell. Obviously had a price rise the other night, up to 5.6 million, and is potentially going to have another price rise as well by the end of tonight. So not before the deadline, but rolling into tomorrow as well. So definitely a player I would be looking to get into my team, as he was basically playing up front for large parts of the game. Do you think transferring in someone going up in price is worth more than rolling transfer? It depends who you're bringing in and why you're bringing him in. I think if you're going to bring in Ben Chilwell, then definitely, because he's probably going to get quite a few more price rises. He's probably going to go up to 6 mil at some point. So definitely a player like that who's got the potential to keep rising, but a transfer is so valuable, to be honest. Henry or Udogie, probably go Rico Henry. Not 100% convinced by Udogie's minutes, whereas Rico Henry, I feel, has just got that little bit more solidity, to be honest. Would you captain Salah or Haaland? I've got Salah captain as well. I think if you've got Salah, why are you paying that 12.5 million, to be honest? Might as well go for Salah, to be honest. You've got the 12.5 million. You've spent the big bucks on him. You might as well captain him. Yeah. Like I said, guys, keep the questions coming. Any questions that you do have about your team or any players that you're potentially looking to bring in, do get them in the chat on YouTube or on TikTok. Gabriel start or not? I'm not 100% sure yet. No one is, to be honest. I think it's a little bit more favourable with it being a potential difficult fixture. So I think there might be a change in system, especially with Timber picking up a potential injury as well. So I definitely think there is a little bit more potential that Gabriel starts. But if he doesn't, make sure you have an action plan, because he's probably going to decrease in price on Monday night if he's not in. I have an action plan. It is to downgrade him to a 4.5 and then go get Jackson for João Pedro. That's my plan in my team, but I do have a mil in the bank as well to kind of finance that. Captain Watkins, yeah, I think that's a great shout, to be honest. Everton had the 20th for XG conceded, so I think that's definitely an option, Karen. Yeah. If you are feeling a little bit risky, maybe going for a differential, I think Captain Watkins could be that potential shout. If you are enjoying any of the kind of content that you see on the channel, whether that's TikTok or on YouTube, do make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff, as we are trying to get to 2,000 subs before the end of the month here on YouTube. It would be great to do. It would be great to see, to be honest. I think it's a risk, but that needs to be done on FPL. Yeah, I think this is potentially one of those weeks where it's okay to go against Haaland. Here he is, Captain Welbeck. Hello, Reese. How you doing, mate? Yeah, 100% captain old Pele. But in all seriousness, Danny Welbeck was like the cancer of that Brighton attack. He was dismal. I think Evan Ferguson might start, to be honest. I genuinely think that. Onana or Turner? Probably Turner. The home fixture, Sheffield United being a little bit miserable, I'd probably go Turner, but that's a difficult one, to be honest, Archie. Onana is a decent shout. You're obviously paying the big bucks as well with him. I prefer Watkins captain over Saka, to be honest. And you've gone the other way. Saka or Watkins? Yeah, Karen, I'd go Watkins for potential captain over Saka for game week 2. It's game week 2, isn't it? Yeah. Right, let's move on to some predicted points for game week 2. Obviously, as you can see on the screen, if you are on TikTok, come over to YouTube, you can see all this good stuff. But the predicted points for game week 2, Salah is miles clear of everybody else. 7.6 predicted points for him in game week 2. So arguably the reason why a lot of people are going for him captains. Love to see that, Karen. Locked in Watkins. Get it in. Obviously come at me on Twitter or TikTok or whatever if it doesn't go to plan. Wow, hiccups are bad. But yeah, Salah clear for predicted points for this game week. 29.5% owned. 7.6 expected points for game week 2. He's my captain. We're going for him. I do like that. Second for predicted points is Erling Haaland. No surprises there. 6.5% and up to 90% owned as well, which is absolutely ridiculous. I do feel like you're potentially, you're going against it, but I think this week it's worth it. Bournemouth at home is a great fixture for Liverpool. Obviously, absolutely demolished them last time they came to Anfield as well. Salah with those high predicted points looked really good as well against Chelsea, so yeah. Interestingly, Trent, third highest with 5.9. I don't think he had an amazing game in his new kind of role against Chelsea. I put a tweet out as well where he created 0 chances, 0 XA, 0 expected assists, 0 shots. Obviously, he did have that one that disallowed, but that doesn't count towards any kind of expected data. So that's a little bit of a kind of a skew-if one. But yeah, I wouldn't be looking to captain him, to be honest. I think a lot of people are potentially going to flog him if he doesn't do kind of anything exciting. Interestingly, Saka, 4th highest for expected points in game week 2, 5.8. I know a lot of people have been kind of floating him around as a potential captain in game week 2. So, 4th highest predicted points. So definitely a player to be considering maybe. Robertson 5th with 5.3. Rashford in 6th with 5.1. Then Martinelli as well. Watkins only 4.9 predicted points, which is a little bit of a concern for people like Karen who are going for him captain. But you know what? I just think it's worth it, to be honest. I do really like Ollie Watkins as a potential differential captain for game week 2 as well. I think he's going to do great. Oh, thank you. Thank you for sending the football. Appreciate that. Appreciate the gifts, guys. Thank you very much. And Buemo and James Maddison on 4.8 predicted points. I know a lot of people are going for Maddison as well. He is going to go up in price tonight as well. So if you are potentially thinking about going to get him, I would potentially look to go and get him tonight. Thank you for all the gifts sending on TikTok, guys. If you're on YouTube as well, just smash the like button. That does as good a job, to be honest. A couple roses getting sent in as well. We're loving it. Cheers, guys. Appreciate all this. And then the last player on our predicted points graph is Virgil van Dijk. 4.7 points predicted for him in game week 2 if you do have him, or are potentially looking at maybe going for him in that Liverpool defence. If you go and maybe you got Reece James, you want to go up, that's a potential option, but I wouldn't personally go for it, to be honest. A few questions coming in on the YouTube chat. Where have they gone? Hi Tom, should I buy Rico Henry or Matty Cash for Lisandro Martinez? I would go Rico Henry, mate. I think Matty Cash looked okay. Obviously missed a big chance. But I think with them having European football in between game week 2 and game week 4, we're probably going to see a little bit of rotation within that side as well. And I don't think Matty Cash's overall performance was too great. I saw a few Villa fans potentially moaning about him as well. So I would prefer going for Rico Henry. I feel like he's got less competition, no European football. So it just makes a little bit more sense, to be honest, to go for him. Thoughts on the defence of Estepinian, Chilwell, Saliba with Ndoji and Botman as subs this week. I like that. Very strong. Archie Cheeseman. Like that one, mate. Thoughts on Dessie as Chelsea have a really good run of games? Yeah. Obviously scored, so maybe his points are looking a little bit more elevated. I would potentially predict maybe going for a Ben Chilwell if that option is available, as he might see a change in system and they might move away from a 3 at the back. but he did put up good kind of numbers. But again, he scored from a corner, so I wouldn't kind of vouch for that performance, to be honest. How much is he? I think he's like 4.5. If that's the case, I'd probably prefer going for Colwell, to be honest. Gabriel or Rico Henry? Oh, probably go Rico Henry. Save yourself the headache, to be honest, Shay. Someone's asked 90 points in game week 1. Good. That's pretty amazing, to be honest, mate. I only got 82. I think the highest content creator was around like 86 as well, like the big ones as well. So definitely a good game week there. Who did you have in your team to get a 90 score? That's a very good week, to be honest. Keep the questions coming in, guys, as well. We will try and get through as many as possible. But to have a kind of a quick recap as well, Salah top 4 predicted points for game week 2. Haaland in 2nd, Trent in 3rd place as well. So some very interesting predicted points for game week 2. If you kind of like how these predicted points or want to go and check them out for yourself, go over to Drafthound. Use the link in the description of the YouTube video. Or if you're on TikTok, go over to like my Twitter or YouTube and then just go follow that link. If you sign up there, you can go and check out all this stuff. They've got loads of free stuff, which is really cool. And then they do have some stuff behind paywall, which, you know, if you sign up for and use my link, it kind of comes back to me. So it's a win-win, to be honest. It's a win-win. Yeah, you probably should have put Salah in your first draft, to be honest. It is going to be extremely hard. I feel like you kind of go down one or two routes, don't you? You have Salah or you don't have Salah. That's the way it's kind of gone. Don't be going like kind of ripping apart your team to go and get him now. It's not happening. You're going to be watching that 3 o'clock game. Archie just sat behind the sofa like, no, don't do it. As he adds like his 5th goal of the afternoon. Yeah, a lot of people, to be honest. It's going to be a boring week. Rolling. It's going to be rolling for me as well. You hope Foden pays off. Obviously, this is the thing. Like, I just can't be arsed with City players. Cannot be arsed with City and Pep Roulette. It's just not worth it, especially this year when you have people around the same price who are going to be kind of nailed and getting good minutes. There's just no point. There's no advantage for going for kind of City players this year, I feel, to be honest. Luke is in the chat as well. Hello, my man. How are you doing? How's your Friday going so far? Mine is going pretty well. Hope yours is too. Do a game week free draft right now. No, I can't be asked. Can't be asked to do that, mate. I'll probably put a video out doing a game week free draft, to be honest. So if you want to go check that out, like later, probably be Sunday or Monday, I'll do one then. He did not score in the last game against Bournemouth, but you imagine if they score 9 this time, he will be involved, or you'd hope he would be involved. Should I captain Haaland as I don't have Salah? Love the vids. Cheers, mate. Yeah, I'd captain Haaland. Just keep with the pack early doors if you don't have Salah. Obviously, you are going to be going up against Erling Haaland, but, you know, Salah, sorry, but, yeah, I definitely think keep with the pack early on. Go with the captain, go with the majority, to be honest. Anyone else need Matt Turner to save 3 penalties? Well, it would be nice. It would be nice, to be honest, Luke. Not Luke. FPL MFZ. Sorry, mate. I was just reading Luke's chat as well. But yeah, it would be great if Matt Turner, but we all know what's going to happen, to be honest. He is going to drop an absolute stinker. He's going to drop a stinker. We've all put him in. We're treating him like he's like Buffon or Donnarumma or Edison or these like, you know, exotic Alisson. These high quality goalkeepers. It's Matt Turner. 2 years ago, he was playing in the MLS. What are we all doing? What are we all doing? Yeah, it did, John. It did, mate. Yeah, cheers for that, pal. Playing Ultimate Team, Luke? Or are you just playing, like, you know, just some career mode? What's going off with your guys' Friday as well? Let me know kind of what your plans are for this evening. Are you watching the game? Obviously, it's not broadcast in the UK due to it being moved from an original 3 o'clock spot to the kind of Friday slot, mainly down to cricket, but what are you guys doing for your Friday? Are you watching the game? Are you going out? Are you just going to stay in, watch a movie? You know? Pot noodle and a certain other activity afterwards, maybe? Score prediction for today's game? I already did them, to be honest, mate, but I can have a quick run through if you like. These are my predictions. Nottingham Forest 2-0 over Sheffield United. Fulham are going to lose 3-1 to Brentford. Liverpool are going to win 4-1 over Bournemouth. Brighton are going to beat Wolves 2-1. Tottenham, Manchester United are going to be 2-2. Man City, Newcastle 1-1. Aston Villa are going to beat Everton 2-0. And West Ham are going to lose 2-0 to Chelsea. And then Crystal Palace are going to lose 2-1 to Arsenal. So there you go. For today's game, we're going for a 2-0 win over Sheffield United. If you own both Sanchez and Turner, who would you start? I'd probably start Turner, just down to the fact that they're their home team. But Chelsea are probably a better defence on paper. But Sheffield United are pretty poor. This is a tough one, that, to be honest. You have Ped Porro. Who should I get instead? You could always just go to Emerson Royale, who's kind of taken his spot. Obviously, you went for that because you kind of backed the Spurs fixtures. You could go Gusto. You could go potentially down to Colwell, Rico Henry, Matty Cash. There's a few options for you. Got some questions coming in as well. Archie thinks that Estupiñán isn't going to get a clean sheet in game week 2. Well, we'll wait and see. Wolves did look kind of good. They put up some really impressive data as well in that game, to be honest. So I definitely think they're going to be an interesting watch over the next few weeks. Was it kind of, one of those performances where we're at Old Trafford, we're Billy Big Bollocks in it, or is it they're going to resume to normal service? They still didn't score, which is kind of the issue that Wolves have had over the past few years as well, to be honest. But yeah. Here is the team for game week 1, ladies and gentlemen. Turner in goal, Estupiñán, Gabriel, Chilwell, Henry, Bruno Fernandes and Buemo, Salah captain, Saka, João Pedro, Haaland, and then on the bench, Johnson, Eze and Buemo, and Kabore without a game week. How many points did I get last week? Yeah, let's go and have a look at that. Good shout, that, Luke. Good shout, mate. Points. We got 82 points last game week. Get that on screen. Make sure you guys can see that. There you go. So yeah, we got 82 points last game week. It was a pretty good game week, to be honest. Johnson in goal. I obviously was raving about him in pre-season. Said how good he was going to be, to be honest. And, lived up to that expectation. Roy doing the absolute business in terms of the back line. Estupiñán was very happy with his performance. Yeah, very good performance from him. Could have easily got many more assists if Danny Welbeck wasn't an absolute slug, to be honest. Gabriel with a pointer. I feel like a lot of us were in that kind of same boat, to be honest. Do you think Desai will play right back due to Reece James's injury? He's only ever played 5 games in his whole career at right back. I feel like they might just go Gusto. Played a few minutes in pre-season as well in that right back position. So I feel like he's probably going to start more than Desai. It depends what system they go for. They might completely change to a 4 at the back now and scrap off that kind of 5. Score prediction for Stags versus Grimsby. Tuesday wasn't great because we picked up quite a few injuries, but we're going to smash them. So we'll go 2-0. We'll go 2-0. Triple captain Lucas Akins would be a dream on this game, to be honest. It would absolutely be a dream. Salah or Haaland captain? I've gone Salah. If you've got him, what are you paying the 12.5 million for, to be honest? Might as well go for him. What was all the hype about with Pickford? He's a solid 4.5 million goalkeeper. Everton are just dismal. It's one of them things, isn't it, to be honest? I feel whichever 4.5 million goalkeeper kind of shat bed in game week 1, you would be a little bit annoyed. But yeah, it is what it is. Haaland or Salah captain? Salah. If you've got him in your team, what are you doing not captaining him, to be honest, against Bournemouth? And you're paying that money. You might as well have not bothered paying that money if you're not going to go with him, to be honest. Running through the rest of my team kind of for game week 1 in terms of points. Eze obviously blanked, which was a little bit disappointing, but, still created lots of opportunities, had plenty of shots as well. It was overall a very good performance. Bruno Fernandes wasn't amazing, but hey-ho, we hold for a couple more game weeks. We see what kind of performances he can put in, to be honest. Pedro up top or Rhys Botman or Gusto? Pedro up top, mate. All the way, Andy. Saka with his wonder goal as well, which was always great to see. And Buemo should have had more if he knew how to actually finish his dinner and not miss sitters. Salah with 5 points last week could have again been very high. 26 points for Haaland, captain, and then a João Pedro penalty. Obviously, again, another player who missed a sitter. Was happy with Rico Henry's performance on my bench and Kabore as well. Very impressive. So I'm happy to have those for upcoming game weeks as well. Let's go back to my team. Pick team. There we go. Make sure you guys can see that. Yeah, you can see that. What's your take on Manchester City's mid/attack now KDB is out for 4 months? I think it definitely makes Julian Alvarez a better asset, but this is the thing with City, right? I don't have the time or the effort or the energy to kind of risk rotation this year. It's just not worth it. Genuinely, I just don't think it's worth it, to be honest. I just don't feel like it is worth going for it, especially if there's like so many other good players around that price point. I think out of this injury, it makes Julian Alvarez and maybe Foden better picks, to be honest. And with Bernardo Silva potentially picking up a knock as well, like it does make them more kind of acceptable assets to go for. But I just think you might as well go for like Maddison, like same price point as like Foden and Grealish, and you know what you're going to get from him on free kicks, on corners as well, on set pieces. So I just think that's the better way to go about it, in my personal opinion. Tommy has joined the YouTube chat. Hello, mate. Any questions, do get them in. If you are enjoying kind of the live stream on TikTok or on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, follow, all that good stuff. It helps me out. It helps the channel grow as well, which is what we want to see, to be honest. What's my plans for game week 3? I had a few questions around this, so you know what? Give me a second, and I'm going to load up FPL.team. If you don't use this website, use it, because it is amazing, and it helps you to build a better team, to be honest. I just need to get my code up. There's my code. And paste. Hope you can't see this. Right, okay. That ad can go away. Hopefully you guys can now see this if you're on the stream. Yeah, sort of. It's not great, but we rock with it. We roll. So this is my plans for game week. What game week is this? Game week 3. So I need to go up. Game week 3. These are my plans. So without making any transfers, this is how my team is gonna look, to be honest. Yeah, this is how the team is gonna look. So we're gonna have Johnson in goal against Brentford, Estupinian, Gabriel, and Chilwell. Eze, Bruno Fernandes, Saka, and Buemo, Salah, Haaland captain, and João Pedro. This is without making any transfers, to be honest. Any news on Gabriel? He is injured. No, he's not injured. He's not injured. Ignore me. He's not injured. Onana or Turner? Probably go Turner, to be honest. Home fixture. You'd imagine they get a clean sheet, but then is Onana going to make that back up with save points and potentially bonus? Probably. So it's a difficult one to say, but I probably would go for Turner. Yeah, we got there in the end, didn't we, Will? We got there in the end. My head fell off a little bit, but we did eventually get there. Right, so what were we talking about before that? Thank you for sending the rose, mate. Trent or Haaland captain? Haaland. Stick with the pack. Don't go for Trent. 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 XG, 0 XA, 0 shots, 0 chances created last week. So not worth it for me, in my personal opinion. But in terms of my plans, this is what I'm planning on doing. I think I'm going to go down to a 4.5 million defender for Gabriel. I think we're going to go Udogie is one that I've kind of eyed up. Udogie potentially. And then replace João Pedro with Jackson. This is kind of the plan that I'm going to go for this week. So as you can see, that looks very strong indeed. I do like the look of this. Jackson home to Luton. If he puts in another good performance or kind of gets good underlying data, again, was very impressive in that Liverpool game, picking up quite a few chances. So if he can impress in game week 2 as well, this is kind of the plan that I'm going to go for. Replace Gabriel with a 4.5 in game week 3 and move Pedro on for Jackson. That is the plan. Do I reckon Gabriel will start? I hope so. I hope so. I do hope so. It's hard to tell, to be honest. I have a mil in the bank at the moment. Salah, Diaby and Jackson, or Rashford, Martinelli and Watkins. Difficult. That is difficult. Todd, is this for like a free hit or a wild card, or just kind of your team overall and which players you wanted to pick? That would help me out a little bit more. Rashford didn't look great. I wasn't overly impressed with Martinelli either. Watkins is probably the only one I like out of there, so I'd probably go option 1, Salah, Diaby and Jackson after their game week 1 performances. Get that back on for you guys on the stream so you can see my team. But yeah, that's the plans for game week 3, is to kind of downgrade Gabriel to a 4.5 and then move Pedro on to Jackson. That's the plans for game week 3 and what I've kind of got in mind, to be honest. Start Eze or Cash? Probably go Cash. I don't have a mini league code. I just couldn't be asked creating one. Like, I'm in a lot of leagues already, as I imagine like a lot of people in this chat and the TikTok chat are as well, to be honest. Like, yeah, it's just not worth it, is it, to be honest? I might do one next year if the channel's a little bit bigger. You know, we had quite a good preseason. We're on 1.61k subs. If we get to like 2.5, maybe we start considering it, to be honest. When would you usually play a wild card? I think this week, I think I've outlined game week like 9 or 10. It's usually when there's like a really good fixture swing where I have quite a few players that I need to get rid of. So I think it's around game week 8, game week 9, game week 10 is probably the period where I would be looking to play it. I think if your game week 1 draft went to absolute shit and you're in a real pickle, play it this week or next week. But if you can manage with your free transfers, then I think you hold it till around game week 8, game week 9, game week 10. Why am I still nervous about Gabriel? Yeah. If it's for tactical reasons that he was dropped, or it might be an attitude thing, there's a lot to kind of weigh up around that, to be honest. So I'm just unsure why you would drop a player who's played like 76 games in a row, Premier League games in a row, and then drop him. There has to be like a tactical or maybe an injury reason behind that. I can't afford Chilwell. What Chelsea defender do you think I should go for? Levi Colwill or Gusto if you want a Chelsea defender. If you don't, Rico Henry. Gabriel has put me in a right mess. I used to transfer to get in Maddison, then found out Gabriel dilemma and stuff with Sheffield United defender. Yeah, Baldock apparently is injured as well. That's heavy, that is heavy. Have we heard anything else on that, to be honest? I obviously put a tweet out earlier. It was just someone kind of putting out stuff saying like, oh, he's injured and stuff. But I haven't really heard anything else since then, to be honest. So let's have a scroll through Twitter. Let's see if we can find anything. See what's cracking, to be honest. That's quite an interesting one. Esri Konza, no FPL villains predicted lineup for the Everton game. If you're on the YouTube chat, you'll be able to see that right now. He's pretty much saying that there's definitely going to be no Esri Konza. He's pretty confident on that. 90% sure that Esri Konza is going to be playing. Interesting. Return date for John Stones? Don't know. He's just out, to be honest. But yeah, he is out. See if there's any kind of other team news ticking about. Doesn't look like it. If you do see any team news on Twitter, do highlight it to me in either of the chats as well, and we will go and take a look at any of that, to be honest. Yeah, he was on the bench and then felt something in training. I can definitely see Gibbs White getting some returns. Put up some good numbers on set pieces as well. So, yeah, I think he's a really good asset to have, especially for game week 2. I think he might come out as one of the top goal scorers of the week and point scorers as well. But yeah, in terms of Fantasy Football Scout, I can't really see anything else from anyone else's pressers today. I'm not sure if there was another presser today, to be honest. Would have been helpful, but it doesn't look like we're going to get one for Arsenal. Gibbs or Wanyu, I'm trying to differentiate from my league. I reckon either one would do great. I think the benefit you get with Gibbs White is the fact that you get corners and free kicks as well, to be honest. So I think that is the way I'd probably look at it in terms of that. But I definitely think a Wanyu is an option. But with Gibbs White, you're going to get those set pieces as well, which could be absolutely huge if the game is quite tight. Do I bench Rashford, Jackson or Odegaard? Why are you benching one of those? Who else is in your team, Finn, to kind of be removing one of those kind of more premium assets? Let me know, because that is quite interesting to see. How long have we been going for? We've been going for about 50 minutes now. Things are going pretty well. Going better than last week. We've had no like kind of cock-ups. We're helping you guys out. So like I said, if you enjoy it, do hit that subscribe button. Do follow us on TikTok. Do like the stream because it does push it out to the wider audience, which is always great to see. Sky Sports is not showing the game. Was originally picked as a 3 o'clock kickoff. And then it got moved because of the cricket. So, not on telly, which is disappointing, to be honest. Who's my captain, Harry? I've gone for Salah. I think if you've got Salah, you've pretty much just got to go for him, to be honest. Gabriel out for Rico Henry. Yeah, don't see an issue with that one, to be honest. Yeah, I get that point, to be honest, John. He did have a lot of chances. I think it's just one of them. I'm going to wait and see how he performs in this game against West Ham, a lesser opponent, see if he can convert his chances or get in the right positions yet again. With Luton and Forest at home as well, you do imagine that he's probably going to score in at least one of them, you'd hope. So I definitely think he's a wait and see, but a player who's definitely caught my eye. Hamer, Saka, Haaland, Pedro, Matoma. Why are you playing Hamer? Unless you're like a Sheffield United fan. Big claims from Callum as well, suggesting that he won't get anything from the West Ham game. Interesting, mate. You a West Ham fan? It would be interesting to know that, to be honest. A Coventry fan. Explains it all now, mate. Explains it all. I get it then. If you think he's going to play and start tonight, then definitely. Which team am I a fan of? Mansfield, which is that kit back there. And if you're on YouTube, over there a little bit. But yeah. Best places for FPL leaks. Probably FPL Raptors pretty good. FPL Andy. This stream, like, yeah. We found out some cool leaks last week. It's just basically just sitting on Twitter, to be honest, and then kind of relying on stuff. I get that, Finn. If you kind of feel the player and you support him, go for it, mate. I went to West Ham away and defensive setup. I just don't think it seems to be any good for him. Fair enough. Fair enough, Callum. Your thoughts on for the Leicester Cardiff game? I don't have any because it's not Premier League and it's not FPL, so I don't have any. I do have a Harry Winks NFT in So Rare, so I'm hoping he has a good performance. If you are a Leicester fan, Stephen, let me know how he's been getting on because it would be interesting to know. I don't have kind of time to watch Championship football, but we've put him into the So Rare team. I got him on cheap, and he's been kind of doing all right. Won me a reward last week with a kind of just steady Eddie performance, so I was happy with that. But yeah, do keep the questions coming in, guys. Will be great to see. Yeah, that's a very good point you've made there, Luke, in the chat. Forest did look good. Arsenal didn't look amazing at the back as well. So Arteta might revert, especially with this being an away game as well. Crystal Palace aren't a bad side either. So you do imagine that potentially they might revert back to that 4 at the back and Gabriel might come in. It's what we can hope for in the community, to be honest. It is what we can hope for, to be honest. It would be nice. It would be nice, to be honest, ladies and gentlemen. Right, this is something I wanted to do last week, and I didn't have the chance to do it. So we're going to do it this week. It is predicted lineups. Let me just make sure you can see that on screen on YouTube. Yeah, you can. So over on Draft Town, they do have a kind of predicted lineup predictor. We're going to go with that. Predicted lineup predictor, where it kind of highlights the expected minutes all the players are going to make and whether or not you should be potentially looking to bring in any of these players. Before we start, Daniel's asked, Isak, is he worth getting? Not with the fixtures. Obviously, absolutely smashed it, put in a really good performance. But yeah, not with the long-term fixtures, to be honest. I definitely think after game week 6, then we kind of analyse which Newcastle assets we want to be going for. But up until that point, don't bother. Do not bother. Højlund in the future? Yeah, maybe. Again, it's just going to be one of them where we kind of have to wait and see how he gets on in game week 1, to be honest. Right, back to this on screen at the moment. The Arsenal predicted lineup for game week 2. Ramsdale in goal, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel and Zinchenko at left back is what Draft Hound is predicting. They're also predicting Gabriel to get 70 minutes as well. So very interesting to see that, to be honest. In midfield, Odegaard, Thomas Partey and Declan Rice. I think that's pretty standard. And then a front three of Saka, Havertz and Martinelli. I can't see that, to be honest. I just think they're going to play Nketiah, to be honest. Yeah, I think they're going to play Nketiah, to be honest. Over Havertz or over potentially one of the defenders. But I just can't see it. Nketiah obviously scored as well. So I think Draft Town might have got that predicted lineup a little bit wrong, to be honest. Aston Villa lineup from Draft Town: Emi Martinez, Cash, Pau, Konza, Digne as a back line. I'm not sure about Matty Cash, especially from what I saw on Twitter. He might be dropped for Ezri Konza. So that one's an interesting one. Should I start Rico Henry against Fulham? Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'd be starting him. A midfield of Douglas Luiz and Kamara. And then Diaby, McGinn and Bailey. And then Watkins up top. I think that's pretty accurate. Bar maybe the Matty Cash thing. Predicted lineup for Bournemouth. I doubt many people have Bournemouth, to be honest, in their starting lineup. Neto, Anthony, Zabarian, Sensei, Kirkez, Billion, Rothwell, Brooks, Christie, Anthony and Dominic Solanke. We're not going to spend too long on Bournemouth, are we? Yeah, I saw this about Trossard as well. Apparently he played a game. What game was it you played? You had like a behind closed doors game as well or something. Am I right in thinking that? You had a behind closed doors game and Trossard scored 2 as well. Would you start Gabriel or Eze? They play against each other. Who else have you got on your bench and who else have you got on your team, Joseph? That would kind of help me determine it a little bit easier for you, to be honest. In terms of the Brentford predicted lineup: Flecken, Collins, Pinnock, me, Hickey, Norgard, Onyeka, Janelt and Rico Henry. And then up top it's saying Visser and Mbuemo. I could see that. The Brighton predicted lineup: Steele, Milner, Dunk, Van Heckel, Estupinian. Obviously, if you kind of saw on Twitter, there was kind of like predictions around Estupinian potentially being benched. Nah, not happening. De Zerbi's cleared that one up for us. Estupinian is going to play. A midfield of Gross, Gilmore, Mart, João Pedro, Matoma and Danny. I'm not sure about Danny Welbeck potentially starting this week, you know. He didn't look great. He missed quite a few big opportunities and kind of just hindered the overall play, to be honest. So I think they might go Evan Ferguson up top this week. Yeah, scored 2 against Luton. I'm captaining Salah, Joseph, this week. I think if you've got him, you've just kind of got to go down that route. Yeah, 180,000 plus transfers in for Reece James. People have absolute stinkers. Do not be making early transfers. Opinions on Cash. I've just seen a tweet, apparently, like from a Villa FPL account. They don't think he's going to be playing. They think Ezri Konsa is going to be going to that right back role, as he didn't have a great game. Missed a big chance as well. So I would potentially prefer Rico Henry over Matty Cash. Mans, Henry is playing. Bench Bruno or Jackson. Oh, why are you benching either one of them, to be honest? Let me know your rest of your team, to be honest, and then I can kind of help you with who you're going to bench there, Jackson or Bruno. Right, moving on to our next team. Burnley. I don't know if people have Burnley players, but they don't even have a game this week, so I don't know why we're looking at that one. Chelsea predicted lineup: Sanchez, Gusto, Thiago Silva, Colwell and Chilwell. And then in midfield, Enzo, Gallagher, Sterling, Chukwuemeka, Mudryk and Nicholas Jackson predicted start for them. If you think Gusto's going to start, yeah, I think Pau Torres is going to come in. Start Henry or Gabriel. I mean, you could save yourself the headache and go for Henry, but I do think Gabriel is probably going to play. But it would save you a headache if you went for Henry, to be honest. Crystal Palace predicted lineup: Johnson, Ward, Gahey, Anderson, Mitchell, Decore, Lerma, Jordan Ayew, Eze, Schlupp, so Jake will be happy, and Odsonne Edouard up front. I thought he looked quite good, to be honest. I like him. I thought he looked good. Who's likely to be more nailed? Colwell over Gusto. We don't know what role he's going to be playing yet, but you do imagine he's just going to slot into that right back slot. Foden, Rashford, Pedro. 2 start, drop 1. I'd probably drop Rashford. I don't like him in that forward role. Who's my Prem team? Good question. I like Brighton. I like the way they run their club. Very similar to Brentford as well. They're really good. And then I have a stack of Crystal Palace players on So Rare, so I'm following them this year. I like the Elise sign. That's really good for my team, so I'm happy for that. But I'd probably say like Brighton or Brentford. I just like the way they run. I think smaller football clubs should be kind of run that way, to be honest. In terms of predicted lineup for the Everton game, if you do have them: Pickford, Patterson, Tarkowski, Keane, Young, Garner, Onana, Iwobi, Decore, Morpie. Morpie missed so many opportunities last weekend, didn't he? Jesus. I saw his XG like when I was doing like my deep dive looking for potential players, and like I was like, how many chances did this man miss? Like, it was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Should I play Eze or Rico Henry? Rico Henry. Who should I get instead of James? My top picks are Henry. Who else? Colwell, Gusto. They're my top picks. Or Luke Shaw, if you've got the money. Or Ben Chilwell. Ben Chilwell's the number one if you've got the money to do that. Pedro or Maddison? Probably... Who are you benching? Like, who else is starting for your team if you're having to bench one of them? That's interesting. Let me know. Liverpool's predicted lineup: Becker, Arnold, Conte, Virgil van Dijk, Robertson, Gakpo, Szoboszlai, McAllister, Salah, Diego Jota, Luis Diaz. Up the hammers. Sorry about that. Next predicted lineup is Manchester City: Edison, Walker, Akanji, Ake, Rico Lewis, Kovacic, Rodri, Foden, Bernardo, Grealish and Haaland. Interesting one, that. If you've gone for Rico Lewis, Ake or Akanji. Draft Town is predicting them to start for this game week. Interesting. Worth putting on Nunes for Watkins? Yes, 100%. Watkins is at least going to play the games. Don't be taking Watkins out if you mean the other way, though. Do not be taking Watkins out. I'm planning on taking Trent out after game week 2. And João Pedro. Who should I put up front? Jackson, really good option. Morris, Luton's fixtures after game week 3 are really good as well. on penalties, scored his penalties, so he's probably going to get the opportunities. Manchester United's predicted lineup for their game: Onana, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Martinez, Shaw, Casemiro, Mount, Anthony, Bruno Fernandes, Sancho, and Rashford. I have Gabriel and Eze. What should I do? You should probably start Gabriel. That's what I'd do. It's difficult though, to be honest. What's Middlesbrough lineup for Huddersfield? Don't have a clue. Do not have a clue. Fix your lashes. What's wrong with them? Are they a little bit long? Not a fan. I have Gabriel and Eze. What should I do? Bring in Virgil for 1 week or play Henry? Play Henry. Don't be making 1 week punts, especially on defenders. Not worth it. Not worth it in my opinion. Predicted lineup for Newcastle: Nick Pope, Trippier, Shea, Botman, Burn, Tonali, Bruno, Joelinton, Almiron, and Isak and Gordon. Very strong side. Forest predicted lineup: Turner in goal. Get up. Aurier, Worrell, and Nketiah, Aina, Mangala, Danilo, Johnson, Gibbs-White, Alanga, and Awoniyi. I know we had a few people questioning which player to go for, potentially Awoniyi or Gibbs-White. Interestingly, Draft Town has predicted 89 minutes for Gibbs-White and Awoniyi just the 60 minutes. So maybe that kind of sways your decision. Sheffield United predicted lineup: Fotheringham. Not even going to bother with that one, but the Bosnian centre-back: Egan, Robertson, Baldock, Basham, Norwood, Osborne, Lowe, Osala, and Benny. Not Benny in the Jets, though. Any news on Ferguson starting? I think he might start, but Draft Hound is predicting that it's going to be Welbeck again. But I don't think Welbeck looked overly convincing, missed quite a few big opportunities, so I definitely think Ferguson has got a potential opportunity to start, but I wouldn't be looking to bring him in, especially with their fixtures turning. Spurs: Royale, Romero, Van de Van, Dogie, Skip, Basuma, Maddison, Kulusevski, Son, Richarlison, and West Ham. I know someone's been asking for any West Ham news. Their predicted lineup is Areola, Kufal, Zuma, Aged, Emerson, Soucek, Fornals, Paqueta, Benrahma, Bowen, and is predicting Antonio up front as well. So yeah, interesting stuff. Interesting stuff, ladies and gentlemen. I definitely think we'll do that bit again. Some predicted lineup. Who's the GOAT, the greatest of all time? Go Google Lucas Akins, and then you'll see the GOAT. There you go. Daniel's asked, Haaland minute issues after Sevilla? I don't think he scores more than one. Should I captain someone else? Watkins, Chilwell, Virgil van Dijk, etc. I think Watkins is probably the only one that I would maybe captain out of that lot, to be honest, if you haven't got Salah. But otherwise, I'd just stick with the pact, go with Haaland, because if he does score a boatload, you know what he's like. He only needs like one touch, to be honest, and like half an hour to go and get himself a hat-trick. So I think unless you've got like a Salah, or unless you feel 100% confident on going Watkins, then I would potentially just stick with Haaland. Keep with the pact. Stay nice and steady early doors. Matthew's team in Gameweek 2: Johnson, Estepinian, Shaw, Gabriel, Maddison, Salah, Rashford, March, Watkins, Haaland, Pedro, and a horrible bench of Schlupp, Baldock, Kabore. I'm thinking of using my wild card to pick out the weak links. I don't think that's necessary, to be honest, Matthew. I think your team's pretty strong, to be honest, already, mate. I don't think there's any like issues there, to be honest. Yeah, the bench isn't great, but Schlupp's going to play. Baldock and Kabore might be issues as well. But I don't think you need to wildcard, to be honest, Paul. Matthew, sorry. Yeah, I don't think so. Hi, Lauren. Do I support Dortmund? No, I support Mansfield. I just like Dortmund's stuff. It's just quite nice. Yeah, it's just nice. Random Penguin has asked, Watkins or João Pedro? Probably go Watkins. If I had to pick one of the two, I'd go Watkins. I'm good, thanks, Lauren. Have you got any questions about your FPL team? but yeah, we're looking pretty good. We're getting low on water again, so I might have to go for a water break in a minute. Go refill the drink up. But yeah, do keep the questions coming in, guys, because we are getting plenty this game week. We'll have another kind of route around on Twitter, see what's kind of happening, see if we've got any early team news for tonight's game, any update on potential injury issues as well. Let's take a look on Twitter, see what we can find, see if there's been any interesting updates over the past few weeks. Minutes. Doesn't look like it from what I can see. If you do have any kind of team news or anything related to that, or you see anything, do flag it in the comments and then we'll go and have a look as well. Keep everybody nice and informed. Make sure we're all making, good decisions together. Let's go look through some Twitter accounts. See what we can find. Nothing there. But yeah, we're ticking along nicely over here, ladies and gentlemen. We need a few more questions coming in. Very good point there. The deadline today is 6:15. So yeah, remember that. Not 6:30 this week, 6:15 for the FPL deadline. So do make sure you do get your team in. Who do I drop? Pedro, Bruno, Maddison or Watkins? Oh, that's difficult. Probably Bruno out of that lot, but geez, that's difficult. Thoughts on Captain Saka? He is the third or fourth. Was he third or fourth, ladies and gentlemen? He was the fourth highest predicted points player that he might get. What am I chatting? Fourth highest for predicted points in game week 2. So I definitely think he's an option. Personally, I think Palace are quite a good defence, so I wouldn't be kind of up for the idea unless you've got a strong gut feeling. That is the only reason I would potentially go for that. What's your top 5 differentials this week? Henry. He's got to be one. Probably Gusto as well in there. Morgan Gibbs-White. That's another good one. Wow, you've really put me on the spot here. Maybe someone like Diego Jota as well. I think Mbeumo's still under 10% owned at the moment as well, so he'd probably slot himself in there as a potential differential. What is your Prem top 4 this season? City. Then I'd probably go Liverpool. Then probably... it's difficult to say. Arsenal, then United. It's quite difficult to say at the moment. Yeah. Yeah, alright. I've posted on your Twitter my FPL team. Want to check it out and give your opinion? Yeah, go on then. Let's have a look. Where have you posted this random penguin? Just on like one of my recent tweets. Here we go. I'm guessing this is you, mate. Let me make sure Twitter can see this. They can. If you want to go and send over your team so I can review it or make any suggestions, do go over to my Twitter at FPLTom. Go to my most recent tweet. Just put your team there and we will try and answer it and help you make any improvements to your side. Yeah, a Wonyi is another good shout as a potential differential for tonight. Luke Shaw or Gabriel to start this week. I'd probably go Luke Shaw. You at least know that this guy's going to start at least. So I would potentially go for Luke Shaw. In terms of Penguins team, Turner in goal, Saliba, Estupinian, Shaw. No issues there in the back line. Maddison, Diaz and Mbeumo, Bruno Fernandes, Saka. And then Haaland captain and Watkins up top. That is a very good, very strong team. Obviously only one player on the bench. Is a little bit of a concern, but I think you've definitely got this team set up correctly in my personal opinion. I think João Pedro looked good, but again, Wolves put in a very good performance. It's going to be a little bit difficult with Brighton being away as well. Maybe go for one of these two out, Bruno Fernandes or Maddison, but I just think they're on set pieces and potentially penalties as well, so could score easy points over João Pedro. That is my only concern with that one. But I think you've got this team set up nice. And yeah, I'm very happy with that, Penguin, mate. Don't think there's any changes you need to make. If you roll in the transfer, sweet. BT, can you rate my team, please? Put it in your comments on Twitter. Yeah, man. Let's go have a look. Where have you put it? Do we need to refresh? I can't see it, mate. So if you have sent it me, it's not appearing there. My Twitter is at FPLTom_. And if you want to go and put it in my deadline stream where I've just put live now, then I can see it. But I've got no notifications at the moment. I may have got the wrong account. Yeah, it's at FPLTom_. That'll be the best way to find it. Or if you go onto the TikTok homepage, go onto the YouTube and then go through that way. That might be another way to kind of find me if you can't find me on there. And while you're on the YouTube bit, just subscribe as well. That helps. That helps. We did do 3 videos this week. All did extremely well. So thank you for your support on them. Absolutely smashed it out of the park. Hopefully we can go again and get 2,000 subs by the end of this month. That would be absolutely amazing, to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, if we could do that. Would be really great. We're making some good content. We're making some good connections as well. I hope you're enjoying these streams as well. Gone for Turner over Onana this week with Forest playing Sheffield United. Yeah, no issues with that, Greg, to be honest, mate. I'm in the exact same boat. Eze or Matoma. Matoma. The fixture's just better. Unless you're making a transfer. But if they're the ones that you need in your team, I'd go Matoma. The fixture's easier. But Eze is a good player. Okay, let's see if we can go find this again for you, mate. Here we go. Here he is. I'm guessing this is your team, BT. You've got Turner in goal, Estepinian, Chilwell, Henry, Rashford, Saka and Buemo, Gibbs, White, Salah, Watkins, Haaland. This team, I like it. That's good. Absolutely loving that. That is very strong indeed, to be honest. I think this team will do extremely well. Hopefully, you're part of the Salah Captains Club. It's an elite club. So, BT, you've done very well there, mate. What did you get last week? Because I'd be interested to know, because I reckon you're on for a good week this week. So, yeah. Thanks for the follow as well, mate. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Hopefully, you come over to YouTube and subscribe to the channel as well, because you seem like a good guy, and that's what we want. 79 points. That's very decent, to be honest. Greg, I saw you commented something. I want to just go check what it is. Yeah, Mansfield shirt in the background. Absolutely love the Stags. Went on Tuesday night, went and watched them play Doncaster. Thought we put in a good performance, but yeah, just a bit difficult, wasn't it? With all the injuries and the stoppages and them just scoring 2 goals against the run of play. But I think we're in for a good season, hopefully. Pickford or Onana? I'd go for Onana in that one. Callum's just posted his team on Twitter. This is it now, ladies and gentlemen. If you want your team rating on Twitter, send it at FPLTom in my most recent video, or just at me. That can work as well, as Callum's done right here. Yeah, I'm going to review it, mate. If you want to send in your team, do send it over, and we will kind of review it, talk through it, and I can give you any kind of feedback. So I think this is Callum's team. If it's not, let me know, and we might be reviewing someone else's team. Turner, Estepinian, Chilwell, Saliba, Saka, Rashford, Maddison and Buemo, Haaland, Watkins and João Pedro. He's gone for Bruno Fernandes on the bench. It's one of them, isn't it, to be honest? I probably would start maybe Bruno over Rashford. I just don't think he looks as good when he plays up front for United. That would be my only one. Oh, nice one. Cheers, mate. I appreciate that. Welcome to the exclusive FPL Tom Club. Glad you enjoyed the content. We've got lots more to come this season. Hopefully, like I said, we can hit that 2K. That's not you? Oh, okay. Maybe you sent it to the wrong person then, Callum. I don't know whose team I'm reviewing. What's happening with Stones? He is out injured. Do not be going for Stones. This might be Ewan's team, who's in my YouTube comments. It is. It's Ewan's team. Hi, Ewan. Yeah, this is your team, mate. I probably... It's a toss of the coin between Bruno Fernandes and Rashford. I just think with Bruno, you get the penalties. That is my only kind of change I would make. But other than that, very strong team, mate. We've got some more people sending stuff in, I think, or not. But yeah, keep your teams coming in if you want to send them at FPL Tom_. No idea how long it's going to be. Yes, Tom, go for the Salah captain. It's great. It's great, mate. You'll enjoy it. Murphy's asked, I'm in the mud. Got 1.5 million spare, but own Guardiola and Stones, so we'll need to play 4-4-2. Stones is injured, mate, so you definitely need to be making a transfer. If you don't have Chilwell, go for Chilwell. These are my favourite defenders to go for this week. Royale, Gusto, Henry, Shaw, Chilwell. I'd say pick one of them for John Stones. Would you transfer out Foden for either Mbuemo or Diaby? Don't think it's a bad shout. Pep Roulette's probably going to be a thing this week. So yeah, probably go Mbuemo just because Diaby has European football, but the fixtures are quite nice as well. I don't have a league. I don't know. I can't be arsed. I feel like there's already so many out there. Maybe next year when we've got like a few more subs, I think then definitely we'll go for it then. Favourite player? Lucas Akins, mate. Lucas Akins. Absolute GOAT. Absolute GOAT. If you don't know, get to know. Rashford or Matoma this week? Matoma. Bold, but go for it. A few more people have sent me teams on Twitter. So let's go and have a look at that. It's Shade XOX, whoever that is, in the TikTok chat. We're getting your team up on stream right now. If you want to come over onto the YouTube channel, you'll be able to see your team live on screen with my beautiful face as we do review it and go through it together. So he's gone Onana in goal, Saliba, Estupinian, Trent, Rashford, McAllister, Matoma, Saka, João Pedro, Jackson, Haaland, Eze on the bench. I think you've got the goalkeepers the right way. My only concern is McAllister. I just don't think he's any good for FPL. I get they have a good fixture, but I just don't think he's a good option for FPL. So I would potentially be looking to replace him. If you have any money in the bank, I would look to replace him, to be honest. That would be kind of what I would do if you were going to make any changes to this team. But other than that, it's a very strong team. What's my Twitter? At FPL Tom_. And my YouTube is FPL Tom. And that's another way that you can find me. And if you hit that subscribe button, it magically appears the Twitter as well. I think you could play him this week. Obviously, Bournemouth at home is a good fixture. Better than Eze at Arsenal, but Eze is probably going to be on penalties, so it's one of them. I think he's the one player I would look to potentially be getting rid of in your team. I just don't think he's a very good asset this year. But if you've got a gut feeling he's going to do well against Bournemouth, keep him. It's not a bad fixture. He might pick up some attacking returns, but Eze's got that penalties as potential kind of replacements, to be honest. Right, looks like we're getting sent loads of other teams in. We have got AC_AFC3 has sent me the team. So if you're watching on TikTok, I have 1.4 was going to go Maddison. If price changes, though, he is going to go up tonight, Maddison. Bang on there, Greg. Bang on, mate. Yeah, it is a shame we're getting so many players injured, to be honest. I thought we was going to have a really good year this year. Hopefully, we still can. But with that Kilgore injury, that's going to be huge, to be honest. That is going to be a big blow. Whose team was I rating? This is AC_AFC3's team. Turner, Estupinian, Chilwell, Saliba, Saka captain, Rashford, and Mbuemo, Odegaard, João Pedro, Watkins, Haaland. I think your team's strong enough, but I probably would just keep that captaincy armband on Haaland. I know we spoke about Salah being the 4th highest predicted points player, but I just think stick with the pack early on, keep your rank nice and close, and go for the differentials a little bit later on. But if you've got a strong feeling against, like, for going for Saka, go for it. But personally, I just don't think they're going to do that well away at Crystal Palace. They're going to be buoyed by the news of Elise signing a new contract. They also have the best XG conceded in the league since game week 29 as well. You can't send it me on Instagram, unfortunately, Ellis. You can send it if you reply to one of my chats. That is the best. Not in my chats. If you reply by just sending it me as one of my tweets, if you just reply to one of my tweets, it should let you do that. Do I start Pedro or swap him for Eze? Start Pedro. Start Pedro. At Joe Joy Cumro? Sure. If you're in the TikTok chat and you've sent me a team, you've put, do I take a -4 hit before the deadline? Who was the transfer you made this week? Because you've got a back three, you've got a goalkeeper, 1, 2, 3, 4 in midfield. Ferguson's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You could probably get away with it and hope Gvardiol plays. But if you've got money in the bank, I would probably downgrade Stones to a Rico Henry. But I don't know if that's necessarily worth a -4, to be honest. We're getting some Mansfield fans in the chat as well. Let's go, boys. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Only if there was League 2 FPL. That would just be, it would just be great. Would just be great. Got some comments coming in the FPL YouTube chat. Josh was live streaming earlier, but he's come over. How are you doing, mate? You absolutely carried the stream the other night, so it's great to have you in the chat. Love having you here, mate. How's your day going so far? Archie's team, it was your team, Archie, had Saka captain, as I'm an Arsenal fan. Makes sense. Makes sense, to be honest. Gusto for Reece James, yeah, don't have any issues with that. Think that's a good transfer. Let's get some polls going in the YouTube chat. Let's get a poll going. Who are people captaining this week? Who is your captain? We're going to go with Haaland and Salah, and then Saka as well. There we go. So there's a poll going into the chat. Who is your captain for game week 1? Haaland, Salah or Saka? Get that in. If you want to come and get involved in these polls, come over to YouTube. FPL Tom, that is the place to be. You can come look at all this cool stuff that we're doing. Right, we had someone else's team to go rate on here. Ellis, thank you for sending your team over, mate. If you do want to have your team rated by me on here, send it in at FPLTom_, and we will go through it live on stream and review and help you build a better team for game week 2 to improve your rank. And if you feel like you learn anything or you enjoy the content that you see on the channel, please do subscribe, like, comment, follow, all that good stuff. Are you off work? Yeah, I booked this afternoon off to do this. Yeah. This is, a hobby, and we have to book time off work to do this. So I do appreciate it. Do appreciate all the stuff that we get in. Right, whose team are we doing here? We've got Ellis's team. Pickford in goal. Trent, Estepinian, Gabriel, Martinelli, Rashford and Buemo, Saka, João Pedro, Haaland captain, Nicholas Jackson. I'd move Matoma definitely to first sub on your bench already, just in case. And then it's one of them. It's difficult to say. Wolves away is going to be a difficult fixture, but how realistically do you think Manchester United and Rashford are going to score against Tottenham? Or do you feel like Matoma against Wolves has a higher probability of scoring? I personally feel like Matoma against Wolves has a higher probability of scoring than Rashford when he plays as a striker. That's my personal opinion. So I'd probably change that, but can understand why you'd go Rashford. Yeah, it's a good team. Strong Ellis. I like it. Oh, did I miss your team, Callum? Where's your team, mate? Ah, here it is. Here it is. We have already gone through your team, but you know what? You've asked nicely. We'll go through it again, mate. We'll go through it again. What did I say for your team? Onana Steele, that's probably the right way. The rest of the team is looking very strong indeed, to be honest, mate. I think you've made all the right decisions. If you've got a transfer left, maybe look to take one of these two out. But if you've already made your transfer for this week, then there's nothing you can really do about that, to be honest. Any idea who to captain? Not sure about Haaland. I'd probably go Salah if you have him. And then after that, Watkins or maybe Saka if you don't fancy going for Haaland. Yeah, that's the way I do it. But yeah, Callum, your team's pretty decent, mate. It's very good. If you've got a transfer, replace one of these for Rico Henry. If you don't, it's not worth a -4 this week. Any Paul Dummett updates? Ah, here he is. Mr. Jake himself. No, the deadline has not passed. It is at 6:15 today. But yeah, here he is. Paul Dummett. The highlight of our Wednesday stream, Mr. Paul Dummett. He was absolutely immense. A lot of people are flocking to bring in old Paul Dummett. Matoma or Diaby? Probably Diaby. Deadline this week is at 6:15 instead of... you don't have any more transfers, Callum? That's fine, mate. Don't take a minus then. Leave them on the bench. Work on that next week. Don't be taking a minus for bench players, to be honest. How's the poll looking so far? Salah at 50%. Interesting. Interesting. I've just accidentally closed the chat down like an idiot. Need that back up. There we go. So yeah, we'll keep the poll going for a few more minutes. If you want to come and vote on it over on the YouTube, FPL Tom, if you're watching. Alf's asked good captains for this game week. Haaland, Salah, Saka, and who was the other one that we had? Watkins. There you go. Will Elanga start according to Draft Hound in their kind of predicted team lineup? Yes. Are there any 6 million midfielders or 7.5 million attackers worth a -4 this week? Probably not. I wouldn't be taking -4s, to be honest. It's still early doors. Unless your team's in an absolute dire state, that's where you need to be taking the -4s. But up until that point, nah, I would not be taking minuses this early on unless it's absolutely essential. But yeah, I don't think there's any that are worth taking a -4 for. 4-4. Nice. We're at the dregs of the water as well. Delicious. This is where the throat begins to just hurt that little bit more. But keep the questions coming in, guys. We'll keep the poll going as well for a few more minutes. Get your votes in. Who is the best captain for game week 1? Haaland, Salah, or Saka? Should have put Watkins on there as well. But yeah, get your votes in. I think if you've got Salah, you've got to be going for him as captain. That is my personal opinion, to be honest. But yeah, if you're enjoying the content as well that you see on TikTok or on YouTube, do subscribe as we are trying to hit 2,000 subs by the end of the month. Would be cool if we could do that, to be honest. Votes are still flying in as well for this captaincy poll. Gabriel or Henry? Henry. That's who I'd go for. Just think he's, one less headache to worry about, to be honest. This is when, come game week 3, he's out injured. Archie's asked, next week, should I get rid of Rashford or Odegaard to bring in Maddison? I think we wait and see how people perform this week, to be honest, Archie. And then we can kind of make the accurate decisions around that. I think Maddison is obviously a favourite. I think Odegaard's playing a little bit more of a deeper role. So that's what I'd do. Can you explain free hit? A little bit confused. So basically a free hit works like you get 1 week, you make unlimited transfers, you've still got your 100 million budget, but you basically get to make unlimited transfers for that 1 week, and then your team reverts back to the team that it originally was. So, for example, your team right now, if you free hitted, changed all the players. It will go back to that original team next game week. That's it. Fernandes, Rashford, and Mbeumo, Saka, and Martinelli as a midfield 5 or 3 up top. I don't have a problem with that. I think it's potentially you'd have to drop one of Fernandes, Rashford. Yeah, I'd probably drop one of Fernandes or Rashford, to be honest. Or Martinelli. I think I'm going to transfer Eze for Mbeumo. I don't think it's worth it, John, to be honest. Estepinian is not injured either. We had that confirmed today. He is not injured. Right, let's end this poll. Let's see who was the winner of this poll. It has come out with Salah as most people's captain for game week 1. 55% of you have voted for Salah, 36% for Haaland, and only 9% for Saka as captains for game week 2. If you've got a captain, let me know down in the comments. Got some questions coming in on YouTube as well. Rashford and De Bruyne to Salah and Mbeumo -4. I don't think it's worth the -4. I just don't think it's worth the -4. Not in my personal opinion. Unless you're going to captain Salah, big win. That is the only reason I would do that. Hey, Jake, I'd love Sean to leave me some water at the door, but he's at work. Honestly, I'm absolutely gagging for a drink of water. I might have to go and get one in a second. Rashford and De Bruyne, yeah, we've done that one. Would you start Gabriel or Colwell? Probably Colwell. It just saves you a headache, to be honest. No, you only get 1 free hit for the whole year. That's it. 1 free hit for the whole year. So it's probably best to play it around double or blank game weeks, to be honest. Is captaining Trent a good or no? I'd probably say no. Not in my personal opinion. 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 chances created, 0 XG and 0 shots from last game week. But if you feel he's going to do well, it's not the worst idea. I just think stick with the pack early on. Go Haaland. Yeah, unless you've got Salah. That is the only reason I would go for it. What do you think of keeping Darwin Núñez? Get him out. Bin him off. Bin Darwin off straight away. Bin Darwin straight away off. Have Estepinian, Stones, Chilwell, Gabriel Cash in defence. Do I sell Stones ASAP or can I wait? If you've already taken a transfer, not worth a minus. But if you've got the money, I'd go and try and get Chilwell. If not, go and get Rico Henry. Transferring Eze out because game week 4 seems to be better for a double transfer over game week 3 based on fixtures. Fair enough, John. Also going to target Newcastle players for game week 4. Who have they got in game week 4? I thought it was around game week 6 where the fixtures turned. Let me just get this up. Newcastle's fixtures in game week 4. Brighton, I wouldn't really be targeting Brighton, to be honest, as a Newcastle fixture. I think it is game week 5 and beyond. Brentford at home, Sheffield United, Burnley at home, and then West Ham. And Mbeumo or Pedro? Probably Mbeumo. Do I put Haaland or Watkins in FPL? Haaland, mate. Haaland. Yeah, I get you on him before 6. I just think that Brighton fixture is not one to be targeting. Probably between 4 and 6 weeks, maybe a little bit longer. The Dortmund jacket is sick, isn't it? It's absolutely fire. From classic football shirts. I've got another one in my wardrobe as well. 1 second. I think it's in here. It isn't. It isn't. We went to go look for the Dortmund jacket and it's just not in there, is it? Oh dear. Why is Schlupp not in the captaincy poll? Shut up. Shut up, lad. And I'm not even answering that question. Not answering that one, mate. Who do I put? Haaland or Watkins captain? Haaland. Pickford and Watkins to Sanchez and Alvarez for game week 3. I don't mind that. I don't think either of those players, though, are like ones that I would be desperate to get rid of. I think both Pickford and Watkins are goodish players. Watkins especially is definitely a good player. Alvarez is a minutes risk. Obviously, that KDB injury is going to free him up a little bit. Haaland or Salah? Salah for captain. If Haaland doesn't do good and I had Watkins captain and he scored 2, I would be laughing. True. Who should I bench? Nketiah, Bruno and Buemo. Maybe... Oh, that's a difficult one. Maybe Bruno, but surely there's got to be other people that you'd rather bench in your team, to be honest. And Buemo over Diaby. How are we doing in the YouTube chat? How's things ticking over here? Pretty decent, pretty decent. I think Elanga will start. According to Draft Hound, and Nketiah isn't going to start, but I think he will. I think he will, especially after scoring. Onana or Turner? Probably go Turner. How many points for a good game week? It depends, to be honest, because it fluctuates. Like last week, you're probably talking like between 75 and like anything above that was a good game week. But then if certain players don't score well, or, you know, a lot of people, like if Haaland blanks, it's going to be a lower scoring game week. So it's always difficult to kind of tell what is a good week and what's a bad week. So I think as long as you're about 10, 15 above the average, that's about it. Yes, I am going to Stockport next week. Absolutely buzzing for that. Can't wait. Going back home. Going to watch Mansfield absolutely batter Stockport. So it's good. 68 points. Is that okay? Probably a little bit poor. Like I said, anything below 75 this week. Probably a poor game week, to be honest. Right, let's go and have a dive round on Twitter. See if we've got any kind of early team news, to be honest. Any early team news for the people who have gone for Forest players or anything like that? Let's go and have a look at that. Can't see anything. We don't have any kind of team news flying around. Doesn't look like there's anything major going off this week. Obviously, it's a little bit of a stinker of a game, to be honest. But yeah, it doesn't look like anything. Yeah, can't see anything on Twitter. Do I think Gabriel will start? I hope so, especially with that Timber injury now. I think he's going to start. I think he is going to start. But it depends if they're going to stick with that system. Sold Ben White and got Chilwell in. Nice. Nice. Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of a quieter deadline this week, you know. Not too much ticking over. I've got a Luton player in. Does the points for my highest scoring on my bench get used? No, it goes in order, so it goes 1, 2, 3, 3. Nearly said 4. So it goes 1, 2, 3, Peter. So you want your first player who's potentially going to come in to be in that number 1 slot. Chilwell, Gabriel, Trent, Estepinian. Yeah. Is Luis Diaz a good captain shout? He's a very spicy differential. I do just worry about his potential minutes, to be honest, Alf. Like, I think he could potentially come off around 60, 70 minutes, which is not what you want from a captain, to be honest. Leno and goal's a decent one. I think that's a good backbone. I think you might want to look to potentially take Trent out next week if he blanks. I don't know what that means, to be honest. Whoever just commented that in the YouTube chat. Don't know what that means. Baldock or Botman? It looks like Baldock might be injured, so maybe Botman. Trent or Haaland captain? I'd probably go Haaland. Stick with the pack early on, unless you've got a gut feeling. Just transferred in Buemo. Nice, John. Thoughts on using a wild card next week to get Trent and Salah in? No, not worth it. Who starts, Gabriel or Rico Henry? Probably both, but to save yourself the headache, Rico Henry definitely. Rico Henry is definitely going to start. yeah, I think we might go and get a drink of water before things start to really kick off. So just like hold on for like 1 minute while I get a drink of water, and then we will be back. We're going to go through Twitter, look through all the team news, as there is only half an hour before Game Week 2 deadline. I do have Insta as well, at FPL Tom, I think _ as well. But I won't be able to see your team because I only have Instagram on my phone. And obviously, I'm streaming on TikTok off it. But yeah, I'm just going to grab a quick drink of water. And then any of your teams that you want rating, send over on Twitter at FPL Tom _ We'll have a look through them. We'll get rating them as well. But I'm just going to grab a quick drink of water. Nice one. We're back. We have water. My throat no longer hurts or feels like Gandhi's flip-flop anymore. You've sent it me on Twitter. We'll go and have a look in a second. Do keep the questions coming in, guys. Any questions about your team? Right, you've sent it me on Twitter. Let's go and have a look. See if we can see it now. Give that a quick refresh. Can't see it yet, pal. So let me know when that has been sent, and then we'll go and have a look at that. But we're in a very good place. We're in a very good place. Bench Bruno or Maddison? Oof. Have you got no one else to bench, to be honest? What's the Twitter? At FPL Tom _ If you want to go onto my profile, go through my YouTube, subscribe while you're there, and then there's like a Twitter link as well. Just click that. That's a nice, easy way to do it. But yeah, Josh, who else is in your team where you're having to bench one of Bruno or Maddison? That's sticky, that. That is a very sticky situation to be in. Do you reckon Ferguson starts versus Wolves? I think so. I don't think Danny Welbeck was that impressive, to be honest. Ferguson obviously came off the bench, scored, looked so much better than Danny Welbeck. So I hope he starts. But DraftHound is predicting Danny Welbeck to start, but I think Evan Ferguson. My mid is Mbuemo, Diaby, Saka. Oh, okay. Who's in your front line? Yeah, I get that. I need to just know who's in your front line. Are you playing a back four or a back three? Or you got three up front like Jackson, Pedro, all that. I get your points. Yeah, John Stones is injured. John Stones, Diaz are out. Reece James is out. Baldock is a question mark, but more than likely. 3-4-3, who's the 3 forwards? I'm guessing Jackson, Haaland, and João Pedro. That would be my guess, Josh. Who are your 3 forwards? Oh, Watkins. Nice. Yeah, okay. Probably go Bruno then. Probably go Bruno. And if you send it me on Twitter, at FPLTom _ and then just go to my most recent tweet on my profile and just leave it in the replies there. That's probably the best way that you can do it. And I'll answer your team there. That's the best way to do it. Who do I go for? Stones, I've got no money in the bank. Let me get my slide up. If you've got no money in the bank, I would probably go for Henry, Gusto, or Royale. Those would be my picks that I'd go for. Edison or Turner? Probably Turner. Probably Turner. Difficult place. Difficult place to be in at Manchester City at the moment. Obviously with Pep whinging about minute rotation. Oh, thanks for the rose, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate that. Captain Salah or Haaland? If you've got Salah, go for Salah. If you have Haaland, Go for Haaland if you can't afford Salah. That's the way I'd go for it. Keep the questions coming in, guys. The stream is going extremely well this week. Getting lots of questions. No worries for the feedback. If you do have the questions, like I said, do keep them coming in over on YouTube or on TikTok. We are trying to hit 2,000 subs over on the YouTube. So if you are enjoying the content that you see on the channel, please do subscribe, like, comment. All that generic YouTube stuff. All that generic YouTube stuff. Right, let's go and have a dive around on Twitter. See if we can find potentially any early team news. Anything like that kicking off. There's got to be something, surely. Surely someone knows something for tonight. Doesn't look like it, though. Like, it seems like people don't know what is going off. There seems to be no good leaks. But yeah. Seems to be no good leaks this week, which makes it a little bit flat. Obviously, next week is Chelsea versus Luton, so we should get better weeks. I will be streaming as well that week. So that'll be good. That'll be good. We should get some leaks that week. Who do I bench? Matoma, Maddison, or Pedro? Jeez, that's difficult. Probably Matoma. What's my best finish? Last year I came 66k. That is my best finish in FPL. Yeah, it was a pretty decent year. Could have gone a lot better. Could have gone a lot worse. But 66k, I'm happy with that. Matoma or Richarlison? Matoma. Easy one, that one. Easy. But yeah, it looks like we're getting no kind of early team news this week, which is a shame. Would have been nice to see some early team news. If you've got any questions as well, do keep them coming in. So we'll try and answer. Oh, nice. 100k finish. I feel like if you finish anywhere kind of in the top 150k, I think that's a very good finish. Obviously, it used to be kind of around the top 100k, but it's so difficult now. Like, everyone is so informed. Everyone has a lot of data as well to kind of use and abuse. So I think as long as you're finishing anywhere in top of that, like top 150k, you're doing pretty decent. Probably Henry. I'll go Henry. I'm really loving Rico Henry this week. He's probably going to have a stinker now. What have people got planned for this evening? What are your plans for the evening? Are you watching the game? Are you not watching the game? Obviously, it's not on telly in the UK. But if you do have any plans for the evening, let me know. We'll have a chat about them as well. You know, it's not just fantasy chat here. We have live chats. Maybe you're having a little bit of trouble with the missus. We can help with that. We can help with that. And I can tell you who's captain and bring in this week. All good stuff as well. Edison or Turner? I would go for Turner, Jason. I feel like Newcastle could definitely score one. Everyone's with this Turner as well. It'd be interesting to see his effective ownership for this game week. I imagine it's going to be quite high. Probably the highest it'll ever be for Turner as well. Or for him to drop an absolute clanger as well. We do have around 20 minutes to the deadline. It's a little bit earlier this week, so do make sure you've got your team locked and loaded for this game week. A little bit early this week. We'll be going to probably around like 20 past as well on the stream. So keep your questions coming in for game week 2 or game week 3 or any future game weeks. Do keep them coming in as I will answer as many as possible. If you want to send me a team as well, send it me on Twitter at FPLTom_ and we'll have a look. Douglas Luiz probably, but Eze's on penalties and the more attacking FPL option. But if you fancy Villa and Douglas Luiz to do well, I'd probably go down that route. Some rogue shouts this week. Very rogue shouts. Right, let's have a scout around on Twitter. See what else is kicking off. Just seems a very dry game week. Doesn't seem to be like too much kicking about. No early team news. The game tonight is dismal as well, which it never really helps, does it, to be honest? It never really helps when the game is dismal. But Hopefully we get some early team news. Definitely confirming that Turner's going to play, but it doesn't look like we're potentially going to. So that's a little bit of a shame. Would be nice if we could get some of that, to be honest. But it isn't. It isn't. I'm very happy with the position that my team is in, to be honest, at the moment. Turner, Estupiñán, Gabriel, Chilwell, Henry. Very happy with that back line. Bruno Fernandes and Mbeumo, Salah, Saka, João Pedro and Haaland. Hello and welcome to the YouTube chat. I'm doing pretty good. My voice is getting a little bit raspy. If you have any questions, 23423 do let them know. Are you comfortable to start Diaby this week as a captain? Oof. Now that is ballsy. I'd probably not. I'd stick with it. Is the Estupiñán news real? No, it's fake. He's fine. Start Akanji or Gabriel? Probably Akanji. Pedro, Jackson and Mbeumo. Pick 2 to start. Probably Jackson and Mbeumo. Any news on Gabriel? No news on Gabriel. No news on Gabriel. We still don't know. Which 2 should I start between Nunes, Rashford and Maddison? That has to be a joke. Rashford and Maddison. 100%. Don't even bother with Nunes. Akanji or Aki, or no Man City defenders at all? I prefer no Man City defenders at all, to be honest. I can't be always playing Pep Roulette. Just a personal preference within my own team, but, you know, if you want to go down that route and get, you know, fucked over by a bald man, you go down that route. But for me personally, it's not worth it. Not worth it indeed, to be honest. Maddison captain, that is brave. No, go Haaland. Salah's my number 1 captain if you have him. Then Haaland. Then probably Watkins. Then Saka. That is the route I'd go down. Haaland or Salah for cap. If you've got Salah, go Salah. That is the way I'd go for it. This game week, I'm going for Salah captain. Bournemouth at home. You imagine he's going to do some great things. Look very impressive. Anthony Robertson or Luke Shaw. If you've got any Brentford players, probably Luke Shaw. If you haven't, Anthony Robertson. Start Ake or Gabriel. Probably go Ake, especially after the John Stones and Diaz injury news. Yeah, then I'd go Salah if you've got both. I'd go Salah. McAllister or Johnson. I'm guessing you mean Johnson from Forest. I'd probably go Johnson from Forest. Flecken or Onana. It's difficult with that being an away fixture, but you imagine Brentford are probably going to keep a clean sheet, to be honest. So I'd probably go Flecken unless you feel like Onana's going to make a lot of saves and potentially get himself bonus points. How many points have you got on FPL at the moment? 82. 82 last week. Good start to the season. Very happy with that. Jackson or Nunes? Jackson. Thoughts on Visser? I think he looked really good. Really sharp, to be honest, as a forward option. Think he'll do quite well with Brentford's good fixture runs. Prefer Mbeumo just down to the penalties, but if you've got the money or you need him as a potential option, Visser is there. Start 1, Foden, Rashford, Bruno. Jeez. Who else are you starting in your team there, Jeff? For that to be kind of a conundrum, let me know, and then that can give me a bit of a clearer picture. Any latent team news or injury news? Not really. We know Stones, Diaz and Reece James are out. Baldock is a question mark for tonight's game. There obviously was something that I put out on Twitter about that. Haven't really heard anything else on that. Estupiñán is fine and should play, so that's not an issue. The Estupiñán news, the news of his injury is fake, so he should be playing tomorrow, so I won't worry about that. But yeah, that Estupiñán news is fake. I have Stones and Zinchenko. Should I transfer now? Have you already made your transfer? Or do you need to make a transfer for this week? Then I'd probably get rid of Stones to either Chilwell, Henry, Gusto. Those would be my top ones. Or Levi Colwell. Those would be my top transfer targets for this week. Jeff, you've sent me a team on Twitter. Let's go and have a look, mate. Let's go and have a look. Hasn't come through yet, Jeff. So if you want to let me know when it's there. Yeah. Let me know when that's there, and then we'll go rate it for you, mate. One of them has to play as my third defender, and I don't think either will play. I think Zinchenko might play. I can't remember what Arteta said in his press conference today, so let's go and have a look at that. And that might give us a little bit more guidance. Was Arteta's press conference today? I feel like it wasn't. But I feel like I've seen something. It was not even yesterday. When was it? Jeez. Okay, maybe it was on Draft Hound. He was predicted to play, to be honest. Oh, your mate's had a stinker there, to be honest, pal. Absolute stinker. Right, we've got the team from Ethan. I'm guessing... Oh. I'm guessing this is your team, Jeff. Let me know if it is. Would you do Eze to Diaby? Probably not. Probably not. Eze looked really good. I think if you can get away with benching him this week, that'd be fine. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. 2 free transfers for next week. You've got a lot more data to kind of work with as well. That'll help you. Start Kanji or Saliba? Probably Saliba. Bench Matoma for Pedro? Yeah, he's on penalties. Cool. Okay, this is Jeff's team. Turner, Estepinian, Chilwell, Gabriel, Saka and Buemo, Bruno Fernandes, Rashford, Haaland, João Pedro, Jackson, and he's benched Onana, Ake and Foden. I mean, it is a home fixture for Manchester City. And with the KDB injury news, I'd probably play Foden over one of Bruno or Rashford. Probably over Rashford, to be honest. But I can see why you do it. But, yeah. Thoughts on putting Turner in over Onana? I think it comes down to the fact of if you feel that Turner getting a clean sheet or Onana potentially getting saves is going to do well. Eze or Odegaard? Probably Odegaard this week. I'd probably go Ake there. Had Saliba, but all these YouTubers said Gabriel. I'm in that boat, mate. I'm in that boat, and I am one of them. I am one of them, and now I'm feeling the pain. I'm now feeling the pain. Ake over Gabriel. Probably. It saves the headache. It saves the headache, doesn't it, to be honest? Who should I replace Nunez with? How much is he these days? Is he like 7 mil? Or is he 7.5? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Darwin. 7.5, probably Jackson would be my top replacement, to be honest, Matthew. For Nunez. He'd be my top one. That's the one I'd go for. Start a Kanji or Saliba? Probably Saliba. Saves you a little bit of a headache. No worries, Matthew. No worries, Matthew. Do I captain Haaland if I don't have Salah? Yeah, I think that's probably the safest way to go, and that's what you want to be doing early on. Especially if you're trying to get a good rank. Keep with the pack nice and early, and then when these kind of weeks break out where Haaland doesn't look the best option, then go for him. Watkins or Pedro? Oh, probably go Watkins. He's home. Everton were last season were 20th for XG conceded away. So you imagine not a lot's improved, to be honest. I got Trent. Do you think I should risk captain him? No, not really. Unless you think he's going to do something absolutely amazing. Captain in Rashford, thoughts? No, don't bother. Don't bother. Again, it's all down to if you've got that kind of gut feeling that he's going to do amazing, go for him. If not, I wouldn't bother. I wouldn't bother, to be honest. Oh, we're getting lots of gifts in today's stream, which is great. So, thanks, guys. Thank you, everyone, for sending these in. If you do enjoy the content, give me a follow on TikTok. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. And if you want to come watch some content on YouTube, if you're on TikTok, FPL Tom, come check me out. Will Gabriel be in the first 11? Probably with that Timber injury, but again, it's all system dependent. I feel Arteta's probably going to go for a more stable back line with them being away from home. Jake saying big up the guts. Mate, there's some huge guts out there, isn't there? Your gut must be massive as well, lad. Like going Jeffrey Schlupp. Brave. Very brave. Captain Nunes. Why are all the Nunes questions coming in? He's not going to play. Do not captain Nunes. Am I watching the game tonight? Probably. I'm sad. I'm sad and I'll probably watch the game. It's not on telly in the UK though. João Pedro or Matoma for Game Week 2. João Pedro, you get penalties. Saliba or Henry? Saliba. Onana or Turner? Probably Turner. Vissa or Pedro? Ooh. Now that is a shout. I'd probably go Vissa. Just because Fulham conceded a lot of chances. I know Leno got that 12-point haul. But if you look at the XG, like, they got absolutely battered in that game. And you imagine with a better attack, it'll go that way. Haaland or Mbuemo? Oh, Haaland. Oh, dear. Keep the questions coming in, guys. These are great. If anyone asks me about Nunes, though, like, come on. Who owns Nunes? Who? I was thinking with Saka captain, but I'll go with Haaland. Yeah, I think it just makes sense, to be honest. Stick with the pack. Unless another player, like this week, Salah has a really good fixture, and it makes sense to go against him. That is the only week I'd do it. Otherwise, stick with the pack. Stay nice and close, especially early on. That's going to help you out more. Who to triple captain this week? Probably Salah would be the one. Ferguson or Eze? I think Ferguson starts. But longer term, I'd probably say Eze. Saka or Maddison? Saka. Vissa, Pedro and Mbuemo. I need two of them. Probably Mbuemo and Pedro. Both take penalties. Both take penalties, so you get that little bit of luck. Should I bench Chilwell, Gabriel or Estupinian because I can't fit them all in? How can you not fit them all in? And Gabriel probably would be the one that I would be benching. I mean, we can dream about a Dortmund winning the league, but it's probably not going to happen, is it? It's not going to happen. He taking the mick you now, mate. Nunes or Schlupp? Jeff Schlupp every day of the week. If you don't come along to our Wednesday streams that me and Jake do, they're great. We give you lots of insight, like, you know, Jeffrey Schlupp should be in your team. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'd probably drop Gabriel then. He would be the one that I would drop out of that lot, to be honest. Out of everyone. Right, we are approaching the deadline. Jeez, I've just seen the time as well. I thought it was a half an hour deadline, to be honest, but it isn't. It is in 7 minutes. 7 minutes till the deadline. Krul or Turner for full run? Turner. Do I captain Saka instead of Haaland? Probably not. Keep with the pack for now. I think Palace will score, so do I. I do think Palace will score, to be honest. Especially with that news that Elise is signing that new deal. I think it's just going to buoy him. I think they'll score early on, to be honest. 6 minutes till the deadline. It is at 15:15 this game week. So, mention it. Yes, Murph, lad. Mansfieldshire in the back. Looking strong. It's going to look better in a few weeks when the Akins one's there. Like, I reckon we're going to have to put like an 18 plus like on this stream once the Akins shirt goes in the back. Johnson or Turner? Turner. That's the way I've gone in my team. I have gone for Turner. Leno or Onana? I'd probably go Onana, to be honest. I know Leno got that 12-point haul. And they are at home, so it does favour them. But they were absolutely battered in terms of XG. No worries, man. No worries. Happy to help. That's what the whole point of this stream is for. If you are just tuning in, get the questions in. We are approaching the deadline. 5 minutes till the deadline, ladies and gentlemen. Get those questions in. If you had to make a transfer, which one would it be? I mean, Ben Chilwell is probably the top priority for this game week, to be honest. That would be the one I would be going for. Ben Chilwell, number one. Top priority for me this week. Let's take a look at my team. Make sure everything is like saved and in. Yeah, we're vibing. We're vibing. If you want to come see my team and you're on TikTok, come over to FPL Tom on YouTube. You'll get to see my team. You get to see my face. Yeah. Ruben Diaz or Trippier. Diaz is injured. Should I bring in Chilwell, Rico, Henry or Gusto? Chilwell would be my number one priority. Trippier. Diaz is injured. Diaz is injured, as confirmed by Pep today. Let's have one quick run through of Twitter. Make sure we have no more like 2 minutes before the like deadline news that Turner's dropped. Let's have a scroll through. Doesn't seem to be any early team news for that game, which is a little bit disappointing. Would have liked some team news. 4 minutes till the deadline, ladies and gentlemen. Do make sure you've got your team locked in. Make sure you've got the player with the right captain on. As one of my friends accidentally captained Saka last week. So yeah. Having a scroll. I don't even know what word came out there. Having a scroll of Twitter. And I can't see any team news. It's just people posting their teams. Looking very bland this week. Turner or Onana? Probably Turner. Yeah. It's looking pretty bland. Pretty bland. Jake's asked Collins away to Fulham or Shaw away to United. Shaw picked up no expected data, like attacking or kind of defensive. So it's difficult. It's so difficult to say, mate, to be honest. No, Fulham just look a bit null up front as well without Mitrovic. I'd probably go Collins. I'd go Collins, mate. Edison or Allison? Allison, 100%. Tom, should I bench Diaby to get Gabriel in? No. Play Diaby, bench Gabriel. But yeah, Jake, I'd go Collins. Captain Haaland or Luis Diaz? Haaland. Stick with the pact unless you've got that fat gut feeling. We are approaching the deadline. 2 minutes till the deadline. Someone in the chat has gone for Tarkowski over Gabriel. Nice. Love that, John. 2 minutes. The 2 minute warning. Make sure your teams are locked in for game week 2. Any last minute questions, do get them in. How many people are going to be watching the game tonight? I imagine not a lot. It's not on telly in the UK. All the Turner owners are going to rejoice. Shaw or Gabriel, save yourself the headache. And I'd go for Shaw, to be honest. I think Gabriel might play, but just save yourself that headache. Go for Shaw. Let's have one last scroll. Make sure there is absolutely no like early team news leaked. Any early team news leaked? I don't think there will, but yeah, I'm a Mansfield fan, Nathan. Doesn't look like there's any early team news kicking about, to be honest, guys. Yeah, I'm in a very similar position. Don't really have anyone to cover him. Bruno or Jackson? Jackson. I'm not going to Grimsby, unfortunately. I don't live in Mansfield anymore, so don't have a season ticket, so I can't really get access to away games. Went on Tuesday to Doncaster. That was good. No early team news. That can be found, guys. 1 minute till the deadline. 1 minute till the deadline, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you have got your FPL teams locked in for game week 2. I've got mine locked in. Nice. Someone is watching the game tonight. Went for a -4. Diaz and Jackson. Nice. Brave, John. Brave. I rate it. I rate it. Up the Orient. Nah. Nah, not that Orient muck. It's Mansfield in this chat. Mansfield all the way, pal. But yeah, let me know how that -4 goes, John, this week. Brave man. We have got my team locked in. It is 8:15. The deadline is probably passed by the time this message does come out. Had to decide between Zhao and Jackson. Went with Jackson. Decent call. Yeah, I think it's a decent call. Long term, Jackson has really good fixtures. 3 and 4 are absolutely immense. Put up some really good underlying data as well. And I think the deadline is pretty much passed. 18:15 for the deadline today. So, yep, the deadline's passed. Should have got those teams in. If you didn't, whoops. That's a little bit of an error. That is a little bit of an error. But we'll stay on stream for a few more minutes. Any questions that you do have, let me know. For future game weeks, we'll stay live for about 5-6 minutes. Answer any questions that you might have. My team is locked in for game week 2. I'm excited for it, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a good game week. Don't know about the game tonight. Oh, yeah, KDB. Ooh, proper stinger. I hope it goes well, John. I hope it goes well, mate. I do have Diaz in my So Rare Cap 240 team for this week, so hopefully it goes well. Alex in the TikTok chat as Captain Trent. Ballsy decision from you there, mate. Let me know how that one goes. Hopefully it goes well for you, mate. I do hope that. I hope the people that go for the Trent go against Haaland. It does go extremely well for you because, it's always more fun that way. Someone's done a wild card last minute. Wow, let me know that team. Let me know that team because I imagine that was Panic City, to be honest. Yeah, very true, John. Very true, mate. Very true. How did you get on in Game Week 1, John? I'm interested to know. I'm interested to know how you got on. Imagine KDB getting injured wasn't ideal. Going double on Liverpool, so Diaz and Salah. Nice. Have you captained Salah? Let me know. How do we think Salah's going to get on this week? I think he's going to have a good week. Well, I hope he has a good week. We've gone against it. But yeah, it is a very early wild card, John. Yeah, he's gone for the Haaland, the Salah cap as well. We're all here. Get the rain dances out tomorrow. Get ready for a huge Salah 3 o'clock performance. I'll be watching. I hope he absolutely smashes it, to be honest. If he doesn't, could be risky. Luke's getting a Domino's. What is your order, mate? What are you ordering from Domino's? What are you ordering? Lineups are not out? Not yet. Nope. Probably be another 15 minutes. But went bench boost with Saka captain in game week 1. Ooh. That's a stinger, that, John. That is a stinger, mate. Messi or Ronaldo? Probably Messi. Yeah, I don't know why people are going for Rodri. He's probably the only City midfielder that would absolutely just slap one on the edge of the box, but he's not good for FPL. I know he plays regular minutes, but he doesn't have anything else. Pizza, garlic bread, wedgies. Solid order, that, Luke, to be honest, mate. Pepperoni as well. I'm not a fan of pepperoni. Not a fan of pepperoni, to be honest, but I can see why people like it. People are captaining Saka. Yeah, I get that. And Buemo and Chilwell in for the fixtures. Maybe it might hinder you when there's another fixture swing around game week 8, game week 9, game week 10, to be honest. But hey ho, it is what it is. It is what it is. I reckon we might stay. You know what? We're going to stay live till the... No, I'm not going to stay live for that long. I'm not going to stay live for that long. Jeez. Louise. It's been a long one, to be honest. How comes I don't like pepperoni? I've never really liked it. And I'm also a vegan, so that definitely doesn't help it. But I've just never really liked pepperoni, to be honest. We're all hoping Haaland blanks, to be honest. Bench McGinn, Eze, João Pedro. Ooh. Michael, who have you got in that lineup with João Pedro on the bench? Who have you got in that? No worries, John. I hope you enjoyed the stream, to be honest. It's always great to have new people in here asking questions. Hopefully see you next week or in any of my videos as well. I try and answer every single question as possible. Yeah, you will catch me next week at some point live, John. So thank you for coming. Appreciate that. I don't think it's an easy game for Arsenal, to be honest. Crystal Palace have got the best expected goals conceded since Roy Hodgson's appointment. Oh, nice. From Malaysia. We're international. We're getting global audiences out here. But yeah, thank you for coming to the stream, mate. Appreciate it. Any questions that you do have, obviously I will be uploading any videos as well, so just get the questions in. Get the questions in. I think we will start to kind of look to wrap it up unless we get a few more questions coming in. But yeah, it is kind of looking like we're going to wrap it up. It is a Mansfield shirt, mate. It is, no, I can't quite point. There it is. There it is. Yeah, it is a Mansfield shirt. I'm a Mansfield fan. Nicely done. Nicely done. Thank you, John, for coming to the stream and being an absolute goat. Participating in the chat. That's what we love to see on this channel. People who come to the chat, ask as many questions as possible. It keeps the chat ticking over. It keeps me kind of having stuff to talk about as well. Nice. Nice. People loving the Mansfield shirt. They're really loving the Mansfield shirt. I didn't think there'd be this many Mansfield fans, to be honest, on TikTok and YouTube. But there is. But there is. Luis Diaz for Bruno next week. I don't know what Liverpool's fixtures are like, to be honest, after this game week. I think they're a little bit difficult. Yeah, Nigel Clough is Brian Clough's son, and he is the manager of Mansfield. Yeah. Wigan fan. How's that going? I know you got a points deduction. How is that going? What was I looking for? Liverpool's fixtures. They're a bit hit and miss, to be honest. After the Bournemouth game, it's Newcastle and Villa, whereas United's and Nottingham Forest and Arsenal. So I think just stick with Bruno Fernandes, to be honest. Terence, the deadline has already gone. So it's a bit of a stinger if you've missed that one. It was about 6 or 7 minutes ago, the deadline, and it has now gone. Yeah, we got Sheffield Wednesday in the Carabao. I'm not going to go. I went to Hillsborough last year and it wasn't pleasant. Let's put it that way. I don't like that ground. Yes, I went captain Salah. Salah is my captain for this game week. A Barrow fan. I've been to that ground. That is terrible. Terrible. I bench Foden for Alvarez. I like that. I think Alvarez is going to start. Can you show me your team? If you come over to YouTube, you'll be able to see it if you rewind the stream a little bit. I am terrified that Haaland actually might get more goals than Salah, to be honest. It is something that will keep me up at night. But, you know, when we've got Salah, we just have to go that route. Someone asked me where I'm from. I am from originally Mansfield. So that's why I support my local. Don't have an FPL league. Didn't really feel like creating one. I feel if we get a few more subs next season, we'll definitely look to create one. We will definitely look to create a league next year. A lot of people asking that. We'll look to potentially give out some prizes as well. Am I partly German? No. I just really like Dortmund stuff. I do want to go to a game. I think that'd be absolutely incredible. Going to Denmark in a few weeks. Going to watch Copenhagen. So that will be interesting. Really looking forward to that. But yeah, I really want to go to a Dortmund game. It's just extremely hard to get tickets. But this stuff is like just really nice. Really nice gear, to be honest. But yeah. Yeah. I think we'll give it like 5 more minutes. And then we will wrap up. Any other questions you want to ask about fantasy for the upcoming game weeks? Or Mansfield related? Get them in. Luke loves Dortmund. Yeah, they're just a good club. They're just fun. They're exciting. Heavy metal football, isn't it? Young players. Cool fans. Amazing kits. What's not to like? Yeah, they fully bottled the league though last year, to be honest. fully bottled the league. I don't think they're going to get a chance this year as well, with Bellingham leaving. I don't think they're going to get a chance to win it this year. I've gone for another glass of water as well, but the water break was absolutely essential this game week. Like last week, my throat after this stream was like literally dying. Literally dying. You have this one, or you have that one, Luke? The Mansfield one or the Dortmund one? I don't know why I point, because you can never see it. But yeah, which one do you have? The Dortmund one's incredible. I've got Bellingham on the back as well. It's honestly so fit. Such a fit kit. We did give away the Aston Villa kit. If you were here for last week's stream, we gave away an Aston Villa Jacob Ramsey kit. It's next to me on my bed here, parcelled up, ready to be sent off tomorrow. So if you do want to kind of have a chance of potentially winning more kits or some so rare cards, help me hit 2k subs by the end of this month and we'll give away something else, either a kit or some so rare cards. But yeah, so help us get to 2k subs and we will do that. Yeah, I only have one glass, that's the problem, so I have to keep refilling it, to be honest. I might just get some bottles for next time, and that might help the situation, to be honest. But yeah, it is hard and difficult. You don't realise, like, talking for like, what, we've been going for like 2.5 hours here? Just talking for that amount of time, it's knackering. It is fully knackering, to be honest, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't look like we're going to get any more questions in. Thank you to everybody who came along to today's stream. I hope Game Week 2 goes really well. If you have been watching on TikTok, follow me on there. Come over to the YouTube channel, subscribe as well. Like I said, if we hit 2,000 subs by the end of this month, we will do some more giveaways. If you're on YouTube and you want to, you know, help the channel out, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. And like I said, we will be trying to hit 2,000 subs on the channel. We'll give away some more cool stuff. Maybe a shirt. Maybe some so rare cards. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. And enjoy the rest of your evening. Hopefully, Turner's got a clean sheet in him.